This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
There we go. Okay. It's Friday. It's Open Comms. Welcome. Must have been a Windows update because the speakers and mic and OBS was reset back to defaults, which is not what mine are.
Yep.
All right. Welcome to Friday. It's Open Comms. We made it. We got me. We got LB here. We got Dom. Akroth. How's it going, man?
We have Delana's chair.
Delana's chair. She's off getting some
part of her chair,
chicken tendies and a daiquiri, I believe. She'll be back later. And we got Far from Puker join us. How's it going, man?
Hello, hello.
And is Podside coming back? I remember you saying that that was coming back at some point.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
It is coming back. Yeah. Working on some other projects right now for the Corp and other things. But yeah, as soon as we get these other projects finished, yeah, Dom and I will be working 100% to bring back Podside.
Nice. Dom's on like all the shows, dude. When are you getting on Meta Show?
Dude.
I will not be welcome to Meta Show.
He's a super celebrity.
Yeah, that's not true.
The also now that Akros here, I remember you saying LB, you guys were going on a Rome. That was Wednesday night.
Said you guys, but that includes you. Just want to point that out.
Well, I wasn't on it because I was
You
cooking
people.
dinner and shit, and I didn't eat it fast enough. But no, LB went on the Rome, and I guess Akroth, you were right next door, and you.
I was literally one jump away, and I saw him.
Reported next door, and you. Did
It was like
nothing.
him plus 15, but he was the name that got linked, which
Yeah,
whatever, probably just luck. But I was like, oh shit, LB, he's one jump away, and I pulled my drones.
Oh, you didn't go fight it?
That's right. I mean, docked up like a baby back
What a
bitch.
No.
bitch.
I sat there mining. I just didn't want to be slow about it, so I pulled my drones in case I needed a bolt.
Oh, wait, hold on.
But I
hold
would
on.
have ran, yes.
Hold on. Here, hold on.
What?
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
I love that sound.
It's got the. What do you even call that sound?
An uncorked.
The corking.
I can't do it because I have a push.
Yeah, we went on a Hecate roam. The first, it was 2 iterations of it. The
Is it
first one we
Hecate or
whelped
Hecate?
ourselves. Hecate? 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 Hecate?
I've
The
heard it so
pancake.
many ways.
But it's pronounced
Little
Hecate.
mini pancake.
Yeah, they look
Anyways, we took our Hecates and we whelped them into a Serb fleet first. We just
How'd it
threw
go?
it in there. No, it didn't go well. We didn't.
Ah,
get it.
damn.
We just fucking.
No, because they can hit you from 100 kilometers away, and you can hit them from 100 feet.
We combat scanned them and then we warped in on into the blob.
Did you activate your
shit.
siege modules?
So y'all didn't alpha
Yeah.
stuff?
No.
Do you guys primary anything, or just all shoot something different?
I called primary, but somebody else had called a primary. That's too many cooks in the kitchen. And fucking,
Exactly what I just said.
everybody
can't
was
have
blasting
primary.
at something else, and then fucking
Yeah.
we all died.
I was gonna say because I've seen them when they're well coordinated. No offense, and
Yes,
I
no,
probably
that's-
wouldn't well coordinated.
It's an
And
accurate.
they could just chew through some shit. I've never flown one, honestly.
I think I've flown a Hecate. I mean, I've flown a Jackdaw, and if you've flown one, you've flown them all, right?
I have no idea.
Just
I
switching
traditionally
modes.
skip out. I skip out on the Swiss Army knife ships, which is like your T3Ds and T3 cruisers, ships that can change what they do, like on the fly. I'm like, oh no, that's too much to keep up.
I
with.
actually thought it was
Too many.
the first time I was getting into Jackdaw fleet. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be really confusing, and it's really not. It's like,
Is
are
it?
you just trying to go somewhere? Put it in travel
Propulsion
mode.
mode.
Propulsion mode. Are you getting primary? Put it on defensive mode. All
Defensive,
other
yeah.
times,
I'm back,
sharpshooter
sir.
mode. Like it's
I mean,
not that difficult.
I would probably. I feel like just like most other things, I would leave myself in modes at wrong times in the same way that like I've only flown in ships with an assault damage control a few times because I usually play Logi and I just find that to be much easier and much more enjoyable. But on the rare occasions I die, one, because I'm an A name, and then two, because I'm like, oh yeah, that thing that I never hit, because why would I?
See, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know about the name thing because people are always like, "Oh, they sort by name." I don't. Do people sort by name? I think you sort by distance.
Dude, I get primaried a lot.
Because like I figure that's the best way to sort.
Depends on the
your
engagement.
Overview for primary stuff is who's in the best
But a lot of
range
times,
for us to shoot, not just who's.
You know, a lot of times people are flying close to each other, so you know it's easy enough to just they'll sort a column and they'll start going.
Yeah.
As soon as I get into a fight, I yell, "Roofie me! I want to go first!" And then no one ever shoots me.
Witness me.
Witness me. Rufio!
I bought some.
That's what I thought. I was
some silver spray paint for like cake spray paint, like it's edible spray paint. Rafe and I did to do the witness me thing.
Oh, I always wondered like what they used in that movie because I'm like,
I'm assuming that's what they used because it looked really
the
same.
same. Like, there's no way they're gonna actually put spray paint in that guy's mouth. But then again,
People like to huff, man. Don't judge.
That makes me think of Always Sunny when he's like when Charlie's writing music and he's got like just a paint ring around his face,
the
using his
sock with the spray paint in it.
Getting his inspiration.
The gold or the silver spray paint too. That's the best, I guess, to get.
I don't know.
Hey, man.
They've used toxic shit in the past. Like, what was it? Now it's an old movie, but The Wizard of Oz, the green paint they used on the Wicked Witch. Apparently, she got sick as fuck from it.
It was lead paint.
Yeah,
I think the Tin Man got sick too. Didn't he?
Really sick. Yes, that is a true
Didn't
story.
the Bond girl that had to be covered in gold? That was like pretty rough, if I recall. Like I'm reading about it.
Yeah,
it's because they raped the shit out of her.
That was before they knew that. Oh, lead's bad for you. Yeah. I still find it funny that you have to call it unleaded gasoline even these days. It's like it should be.
We finally got rid of like there's no leaded gasoline. I think anymore.
You can find leaded gasoline now
in America.
In America, is at airports. You can get it there still. It's like a lead in it. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, it's actually I looked it up and it was like in the 90s was the latest they allowed leaded gasoline, which is
sold.
Which I was like, holy shit! I thought they stopped allowing that back in the 70s. So it's like the fact that like in the early 90s you could still get leaded gasoline if you wanted was fucking crazy. But
yeah, I know that my first car I had in high school used leaded gas. So I mean, I know the 80s is still.
Yeah, I think
you could still get it at standard. It was like 2 pumps of unleaded and 1 pump of leaded, kind of like the leaded to E85 took the leaded spot or something.
Yeah,
what color was your Model T Ford?
We had a Model A Ford, and it was yellow.
That's incorrect. Henry Ford said you can have any color you want as long as it's black.
Oh well, we didn't. He didn't paint it. We painted it.
Well, I remember
it was just that was a thing. That's like a famous quote of his.
Growing up,
actually, they only made black cars.
A street rod, so we did have a Model A.
Yeah, I remember the
guy who invented fuel though was a fluorescent orange Mercury Bobcat station wagon. I fucking loved that car. I mean, everybody knew it was me. He's the only fucking bright ass orange fucking car in all of Iowa, I think. But
the guy who invented leaded gasoline, I forget his name, but I think that most people consider him to have had the most negative, as far as a single person, to have had the most negative impact on the planet's ecology of any other person in history.
Wow.
Because leaded gasoline was so prevalent and actually like because they were starting to see like mild like just lead in every like life for like people, animals, ecosystems, like everywhere. We're just starting to get higher levels of lead than what should have been there, and it's just because of the ambient lead that was in the atmosphere from all the vehicles pumping out leaded exhaust.
It's not.
What there was a bonus. There was a bonus to running leaded gasoline, though. You know that, right? There was a bonus. The engines ran longer because if the lead that was in the leaded gasoline filled in the scratch marks on the cylinder walls.
Oh.
So there was a reason for having the lead in there, and that's the reason why cars ran. That's why when it switched over, a lot of people didn't like the catalytic converters, and they were using the leaded gasoline to burn out the catalytic converters.
Oh. There
was a lot of people that didn't like it, so they were using leaded gasoline to burn out catalytic converters, and then and everything. So, us older guys don't know about that, but it was hard to get people to switch over. It wasn't necessarily more fuel efficient, but on older cars and on the older blocks, there was a purpose for the lead to be in there. But yeah, it made the blocks last longer. and less corrosion resistant as well, having the lead in there. But yeah, as far as environmentally wise and health wise and all that, yeah, it's just horrible.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, the leaded gasoline wasn't the worst environmental thing in history. I'm just saying, like, it was the worst. Like, that one guy is solely responsible for it, and so that's like the one person who is solely responsible for the worst environmental.
That sounds like a challenge.
Like, overall, like just the pollution and smog from like industry and coal and like all that shit, like that's way worse than leaded gasoline ever was. But
the guy
that's like
gasoline,
that's millions of people being at fault as opposed to like this one guy's invention.
Do you remember? Pukin, do you remember you used to sell lead additive? You could add to your gas for a long time.
Yes,
exactly.
You could
add to regular gasoline or unleaded gasoline to make it leaded gasoline, but they don't sell that anymore either, do they?
No, God, no. And again, it was for that reason, because it took out all the knocks and pings, and that was one of the reasons for that. Again, it filled in all the little cracks and everything, especially on like valve heads and stuff. When you get all the little knocks and pings, it's because your valves ain't sitting properly, or whatever. So yeah, leaded gasoline would help that out. So if you had knocks and all that stuff, you run leaded gasoline, it would fill in all the little pits and stuff, and there you go. So
when they went to the aluminum heads, right, that wasn't good for it, correct? That's one.
Well, no, I mean it would still work with aluminum and all that. It just filled in with the deposits, right? But again, it was super horrible for the environment, and even looking like using leaded gasoline for boat motors, and then adding the oil additives to it too.
Oh, I should leave those boats as you're going.
Yeah. So then you look at boats, and then fish getting all the lead and mercury in the fish.
But they taste better when they have a lot of lead and mercury in them.
Yeah, and then we're eating it, right? So
it tastes better that way.
There is mercury in like
coat
seafood,
nice and
like
shiny.
there's mercury in shrimp and other seafoods and stuff from a lot of
that comes
industrial
from
dumping in the rivers, and then it goes out into like the deltas and out into the coastlines, and a lot of like the lobsters and shrimp and stuff get them in there. So
yeah, they use mercury for gold in South America. They just shoot literally water cannons with half mercury, half water into the sides of like the hills and shit to get, and then the gold will float to the top of the mercury, and they just skim it off. And they're literally just putting thousands of gallons of mercury in the fucking world's water supply. Probably daily. I don't know what the kind of scale it is, but it's crazy.
Eating seafood, it's not going to be like
we're going to shit.
Well, you can Google that.
Hundreds of shrimp every day for like a month, and then you would probably start. But there is levels.
Well, you could actually Google it. How much
tastes good.
Yeah, you could Google how safe it is to how much fish you can actually eat. How much fish itself caught locally or whatever. You can only eat so much.
Yeah, you can eat or are perfectly safe, but then there's certain ones that have a high.
Anyway, let's
introduce people.
Let's swing over to we got a whole bunch of people in. Welcome,
guys.
What's up?
Redline, Malketh, and Dawn. Dawn. She's kind of here. She's faking it.
Oh, yeah, Dawn's here.
She's faking it. She's not listening or speaking. So.
I was gonna say I see her friggin' shit's muted.
She's doing a fleet apparently.
Typical fucking woman faking it.
Priorities. Like what the fuck?
Wow.
So
picked up on that, huh? Damn.
let's swing a little bit to Eve. Now I don't.
What?
Yeah.
What?
We have to at least mention Eve since I did put the ticker down there that it's an Eve show. Right. We do that here sometimes. So
it's a what?
You want to talk about? I
thought we were just chatting.
Well, I was gonna say like it came out last Friday. I don't know if we talked about it last Friday's show. Did we talk about the exploit with the
Siege module?
We did talk about the
Siege module.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no fucking show notes. What the hell?
No,
you expect something to talk about?
No, LB's the master of show notes. This makes me feel
bad. Right, but then we never used them, so he's like, why am I doing this? It's like
you hate us? You hate us?
I don't hate you. No, I don't hate anyone. Well,
he
okay,
dislikes us,
maybe
but
I
you
hate
hate
some
us.
people.
Yeah.
But...
How dare you say that to my face?
Because you're not. Face isn't here. We're behind. It's actually technically behind your back right now. What do you think of that?
So we got the exploit talked about then.
What? Oh no! The first thing we're going to mention is, according to the fucking show, the patch notes, right? Not show notes, the patch notes. The woo woo sound from the Frontier Safeguard skin was supposed to be back, but I tested that shit and it didn't fucking work.
I don't know. I tested it before they fixed it, and it still worked before.
Try it now. See if maybe I'm crazy, which is very possible because I'm probably crazy. But I'm telling you, did we both try it? Was that you? It was Rain. Never mind, it was Rain. I'm sorry, I got you confused.
The woot woot.
Did you not remember the 25-minute conversation you had?
No, I know you guys. I don't think I have that skin, so I don't actually know the woot woot.
I did that with Rain.
Okay, that's what I said. That was Rain.
Yeah, the woot woot is.
I said you, but I didn't mean Rain.
That's the sound of the police.
I was gonna say, is that not on the police issue skins?
No, the police issue skins don't make any noise.
Skin.
It's the Frontier Safeguard skin that they gave out for the Australian bushfires.
That's why when we always
the T1 and T2 Logi ships.
You'd think that the police skins should go whoop whoop.
I would love it to.
Well, that
we
is
always
after all
type
the
that
sound
in
of the
local.
police.
I mean, they should all make a sound, and then you could have like the like medic
the
medic Logi skins just go like make it like a really obnoxious European like, just nonstop. Just like
I had this conversation with somebody where like if Eve had proximity sound and you could hear people flying.
Yeah, make it for other people too.
Like if they're in warp and they go by, like, yeah.
Well, I guess it is a
be hysterical.
game, so it would work. Yeah.
As long as they made the Rifter sound like a pod racer, I'm okay with it.
Something's gotta sound like a TIE fighter.
Well, but yeah, there's that one.
The Zephyr looks like a pod.
I mean,
just the.
I've heard mixed opinions on
I
the
hated that pod racer, the chunk one. I was like, please blow up already.
He's got a valve about to go.
It's the Rifter.
I heard both sides of people enjoying or hating the new warp sound, but I think that one's pretty catchy.
I like the warp.
I usually
sounds
warp zoomed out, and when somebody said that, I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what?" And I zoomed in, and sure enough,
I just
think it's
fly
cool.
zoomed in.
I didn't
usually.
like it for the first half day, and then I was like, okay, this isn't actually like bad, and now
After you rubbed yourself
used
a
to
little
it.
bit, and you felt better.
Yeah,
I know.
everything feels better
I
after that, man.
I get it. Pukin taught me.
I
It's
kind of
very
wish they had, like, a
Transformers
different,
meets Avengers. It's pretty neat. I like
Is it? I've never seen it.
Yeah, I hope they eventually down the line start making like different warp sounds for different ships, so that there's a lot more variety.
Has anyone
If you
watched
check, if you
Bebop on Netflix?
The live
Yes.
action.
Oh,
It's
no,
awesome.
I haven't seen it. I heard
live
it.
action one. There's their space special effects are really fucking cool. They have a system of like basically jump gates where they show it both jumping out and jumping into the gate. It's fucking really cool. You ought to check it out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, Texas Bebop, it's a good one.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop, yeah.
I mean, most Texans are cowboys.
Texas
I get
Bebop?
it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
It's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Cowboy, what the fuck are you doing?
I think I only
You shouldn't even
watched
be
half
there.
of the original show, so I'd want to finish that before I watch the live action movie. But I don't know. I heard mixed reviews about the
You
live
don't need
action.
to watch the show. It's a live action show, but just find that clip of that on somewhere and watch that clip. It's really fucking cool special effect. It goes through. It looks like a regular Eve acceleration gate, but they show the ship accelerating through each of the rings,
He means
and then they
Aaron.
show it deaccelerating through all the rings. It's really
Aaron.
fucking cool.
What was the song?
Can't share it. It's called Cowboy Bebop. I'll look it up.
Oh, the live action one?
yeah.
I saw somewhere that it was a thing, and I've been hearing for years that they were trying to make
Fucking
it a thing.
good. It's got
I really like Cowboy
it's got
Bebop.
Harold from Harold and Kumar. He plays the main character.
Oh, really? He's been in some weird stuff. Like he was in that Grudge remake as well. They did well. It's not a remake. I guess it's like it's like a side story. It's not like a remake of The Grudge, but it deals with The Grudge, and he's in that. I was like, wait, Harold's in a horror movie with The Grudge? I haven't watched it yet though.
So what was the patch called?
Yeah, if you loved Firefly, you're gonna love this for sure.
And it got canceled early, just like Firefly.
Wait, it got canceled.
Yeah, that was announced today or yesterday.
Oh, rip.
Yep.
When did the patch come out? On the 7th?
7th, I believe. Yeah,
Tuesday.
That's within.
Yeah.
That's within.
I hate it.
Oh,
It's
I
the
know.
fucking
Dog.
greatest patch ever to happen.
The worst.
It is a fantastic buff to subcat mining.
It seemed like.
Here you go.
I still
You
hate the
wanna talk
idea of
about it?
waste.
Yeah, we
mean,
talked
Not
about it.
waste. It's not waste. It's residue.
it's residue now.
It makes it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it something
What
else.
is it not?
They call it something. They just
It's
named it
still
something
waste.
else, so they just change the values of it, and just like now people.
Well,
oh,
if
seriously,
you
it's
read the
different.
patch notes, they use residue in one spot, and then the rest of the waste is still used in the rest of the.
Yeah, someone was just like change the title, slap it
really
on
slip through.
Yeah, they in the title they use residue, and then the rest of the thing says waste.
Yeah,
and
I
every
mean,
other
Control F is an important
I'm not an
hotkey.
industrialist, really.
It's very
so
important.
I saw the waste stuff, and I was like, okay, so like if you're like doing faster bulk mining, you're gonna have waste, as opposed to if you're like precision mining, then you're not. So you
no,
get
but the
better
difference
efficiency with
is
smaller amounts. If you're gonna go with a big giant ass Rorqual, you're gonna lose some shit.
the difference though is just like there is no point in using T1s on a retriever. You're wasting your time. Just wait and train your skills up.
Except I think we were told to, weren't we, LB? Or is that opposite?
Yeah. Well, that's the new patch.
Whoever told you that doesn't want you to make any money.
Well,
and
it's just
dumb.
like for like the high end moons. I think they're like just use T1s.
For our high end moons, they don't want you to waste any of it, and we have enough people to mine it out before it disappears. So we're only using things that don't create waste,
like the T2 crystals and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, we're just using T1 miners, T1 strips. No,
use modules that don't create waste. On anything else, you can use whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, the rest of the stuff is just like, hey, it's your time, it's your effort. You can choose your efficiency, and that's the thing. I haven't done any of the math, but because like if you're using like T1,
neither did
stuff,
CCP.
Like, it's higher efficiency, but like, well, I don't know if it's a higher efficiency. It's less waste, right? So you get more overall, but the extra time you're gonna have to take to get it because your your overall yield is lower.
So I want to give you an idea.
Efficiency. Also, thanks for the sub, Sikander.
I want to give you an idea of what I'm talking about time-wise. I mined 400,000 M3 in 3.5 hours with a T1 retriever. Maxed out as best I could. To give you an idea, I can do the same in a Hulk with a crystal, so the waste is very low, in about maybe an hour.
Okay, yeah. So it's more efficient to do it with the higher end miners. You just lose more overall ore out of the belts, but I mean, unless you're like short on belts, it shouldn't matter.
But the thing is you're going to be Autism Online if you're doing more than one Hulk, multi-boxing, because it's going to seriously you're going to be dumping your ore hold every 2 minutes.
I have my Rorqual next to me.
If you have a Rorqual,
it does fill up quick. It's a lot of shuffling.
It's going to be like if you're multi-boxing
full.
Yeah, if you're multi-boxing like 4 to 6 Hulks next to a Rorqual, with T2 crystals like type B or whatever, it's going to be Autism Online.
Here's the thing though, it already was. One, they did expand the hold on the Hulks, which I appreciate, but they also seem to fill up pretty damn quick now as well. So like exactly, it still takes about 2 cycles if you've got some drones out to roughly overflow and be like, oh shit, and it used to happen in 2 minutes or so, and now it happens in like 2.5 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I saw the ore hold increases, and you look, and I was like expecting like
you're still gonna overflow all the time if you're not
so it's like
attention.
where you can like sit there and mine for a little bit before you fill up. And it's like, that's not. That's like half a cycle or a quarter of a cycle extra room. That's not really gonna help anything.
And now instead of and now you're wrecking your thing that you're on, right? So that's the difference is now if you use the bigger crystals, you're going to wreck, the thing that you're mining. So it's like, okay, well, that's a reason why a lot of the bigger blocks are saying, okay, well, on the super high end stuff, go down to the, the T1 versions of stuff so that you're not wrecking it.
I would say it depends on like, what is how many belts are you working with? Because if you're sitting there like, okay, we can mine these 2 or 3 systems and we have a lot of people that are trying to do it, then maybe you want to be conservative. But the thing is, like, if you have like a whole region and there's not a lot of people out there mining, just strip mining whole belts like hour after hour, you could probably just be like, go for the full on, like, I'm going for speed and don't really care if I waste a bit.
Right, I think
systems to go over here and do the same shit too. So
right, I think for most or for the belts, and most people are like, do whatever you want, use whatever you want. It's just for the high end stuff, use precision.
Anybody who was doing high-end moon mining before was using T2 moon crystals, and what they converted them to, I guess, is the slower but the less waste version. If I've observed mine correctly, I feel like people are just going to keep doing the same shit they were. Is that not?
No, you don't.
Now I gotta check my.
You're gonna get a little bit more, but you're wrecking what you're mining.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about CCP's numbers. Does everyone remember reading in the blog where it said we're equal 60% waste or residue or whatever the fuck they want to call it, right?
Right.
Fuck Rorquals.
Oh, no. It is a 60% chance at waste. You actually only waste 35 to 40% on average.
Right.
That was what we did on all our Rorquals.
It's only 35 to 40. I didn't understand when I initially read the waste, because I thought the waste was like this much of your yield gets wasted every time. I didn't realize that it was a this percent chance to waste equal the 100% equal to your yield. And so
let's make this real complicated.
Yeah, it's like that seems like it's so much more of a RNG based thing as opposed to, I think they should have, if you want 60% waste, just make it to where, I mean, I'm just throwing numbers out for ease of math. Like, you get 100 M3 on this cycle, 60 M3 gets wasted every time. That's what it should be, because then you could like run the math on your spreadsheets and stuff and know exactly how much shit you're gonna get out of the belts that you're doing or whatever, as opposed to this whole like, I don't know, depends on how RNG's like, favors me.
Well, and that's true, because you don't know, because you could go a whole bunch of cycles and not have a wastage, and then you could sit there for like 10 minutes and have a whole bunch of wastage. It's crazy, It's like, you sit there and you're spinning, and you're doing just fine, and then all of a sudden you'll spend the next 5 minutes with like nothing. It's weird.
Yeah, it's not like you aren't. At least the thing is, like, the waste wasn't like part of your yield. It's like, regardless, you're getting at least your yield. It's just how much are you messing up your source rocks?
Exactly.
Mining. So at least when I first heard the term waste, I'm like, oh shit! Like, you're gonna do a full cycle and only get like 30% or 60% of what you are supposed to get on your yield. I was like, that's gonna piss everyone off.
But the other thing is they were supposed to make. I mean, so they made the skills. They knocked down the amount of skills there were in this net. You'd think they would have done the same thing with the crystals. No, there's 66 different crystals. It's like, well, wait a second here. I thought you guys were going to make this easier. No, there's more crystals, and there's 66 crystals.
Well, didn't they like condense the crystals down to like where they're like, okay, this
but
crystal
there's
is for
A's
like these several
and B's
ores.
and C's.
Yeah.
Right, there's A, B's, and C's, and there's 20 different types of
so they really did
crystals.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't make this easy. By the way, you know how they said they were going to double all of the M3 on all Moonfrax?
Yeah, they didn't do that.
They did, in that they just doubled the amount of rocks. They didn't make the rocks bigger, which would have been convenient and nice. They just said 1 to 2, and now there's just double. So if you had 50 rocks, now you got 100. Have fun.
It was going to suck either way.
I'm just glad other people do industry and not me. I can just buy shit Jita or from actually
my wallet. Thanks to you.
Just buy from Alliance contracts and be like, oh, thanks whoever.
And then
took
they
care
did
of
the
this
same
for me
thing
and brought it out here for me, and I just like DoorDash my ship, And
well, they did the same thing with like a lot of the belts too. Like we're gonna double with some of the stuff that's in the belts, and then instead of increasing the belt, the size of the rocks of the belts, no, they just added more rocks. So your Hulk still can't do a full cycle, with the you still have to stop your laser in mid cycle because you're never going to finish it on a full rock.
So what I was talking about, I was correct. What they converted the T2 moon crystals to, I'm sitting here looking at the ones that they turned them into. I'm looking at an exceptional moon mining crystal type A2, and it says blah 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 blah. Let me get back to the spot.
Literally says
provide steady yields with low residues and high reliability, a crystal choice for methodical mining operations, prioritizing resource utilization over time. So these are the least residue, least waste ones, is what they converted the top end crystal to. And that's so where I was going with that is people who are already doing the top end shit, you're mining high end moons in the most min-maxed way or efficient way previously, they converted to doing the same thing. I'm not using a wasteful crystal. They converted it to you're still doing the most efficient crystal. It takes longer, allegedly, or whatever, but you're getting less residue, whatever. So, like, my point there being that, like, people who are already doing this aren't changing their ways necessarily. You don't need to play with the range of crystals or worry about any of that shit. You're still going to be doing the most efficient thing with the most efficient equipment that you already were. It just got converted names, essentially, on this.
So for the skill point transition or whatever you call it. Was that done automatically, or do you have to click somewhere to make sure that's done?
You get the reimbursement points back, and then you can apply them however you want.
So it was done automatically,
they gave them,
correct?
Yes, they just put them in your unallocated.
That's what I was hoping.
One of my guys got a T2 Dread out of it.
My annoyance there,
I reimburse a T2 Dread. What?
No, he just got the skills for it.
Had
for
enough
free.
unallocated. So
he was like, I'm never gonna use this again.
I had, let's say, Veldspar, Skordite, Pyroxers, like all the various like high sekish and some low sekish ores to, let's say, like 3 or 4 on processing. A few of them at 5. And when they did the redistribution or whatever, I have all of them at 0. Like I would have thought that would have maintained me at least enough to like get a little leg up in it. But like now I don't even have whatever these new books are. And
I don't either. I just noticed that. Oh my god.
I maxed out all the moon ones because that's what I do mostly is moon mining. But I'm like, I had token on the others because once in a blue moon I build shit and I have to like reprocess on compressed and stuff. So I was like, I have token whatever flavor, 3 4s, occasionally 5s, and I got nothing out of it. Like I would have thought they would have applied something. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do a lot actually.
I have done 1 night of mining since the patch and I just run an Orca 2 Hulks. So like, fuck Rorquals. I don't, whatever. They probably got kicked in the nuts again. It's for the best.
Well, but I can give you number ideas because I basically been experimenting with setups to see like how things work. And a Rorqual pre-patch could mine 300,000 M3 in 40 minutes, roughly. And now it mines it in an hour and 5 minutes.
I mean, in my opinion, the Rorqual should have only ever been a boosting platform and had like token drones like a Porpoise or something. But I know it's an unpopular opinion because the way the game's gone over the last few years.
I mean, that's ridiculous to even say something like that.
I bet.
How dare you make a reasonable comment, sir?
How dare you make a reasonable comment? Exactly.
I will agree to disagree.
I'm personally responsible for that comment. So,
Jaden, you gotta lean back.
Lean back.
We need to show off the shirt.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful shirt, yeah.
Wait, why is it not?
Wait, he's saying show it off.
You have to do it every time.
Really?
You have to do it every time, bro.
You know why?
All right, there you go, Sikander. God damn it. What? Every time? Oh, you know what? It's because the camera that I'm in this time is probably a different one. Because look at...
Oh, yeah.
Look at Dom's is backwards now. Dom's is the one that I was last time. Because now
you'll be fine. Now you're a fucking American camera. You're fucked.
Because now Dom's is right. So, okay, I got it.
It took me a moment to figure out what the fuck you were talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about either. I'm just making shit up.
Hey, if you don't know,
just make shit up.
I assumed y'all were wearing like merch shirts or something, and I was like, Dom's is going to be something that's not Star Wars, but is formatted like Star Wars.
His was,
Redline's trying to show us.
Rat's straw.
Rat straw. Oh shit.
But I wasn't watching it on Twitch. I was just watching on Discord. So I was like, what the fuck are y'all even talking about? You're wearing an open comms. He's wearing a Star Wars, I think, because I could only see like the top of Star. And Redline mentioned it, so I was like, "Oh, Redline did some new merch. Like, what are they about to show off?"
Now, I'm gonna be fair, as all can be.
No, that would have been a pro gamer move.
Is quality shit. He's done a really good job with stuff he's made.
I got do some more.
I got the Supreme shirt, and then the other one I have is the one he made. It was just saying his daughter said one day, so he decided to make a shirt. It's Tuesdays are bullshit. It's actually Redline's favorite shirt.
That's a good one.
The sad thing though is I've worn it enough times and washed it enough times now that like it's starting to like, so now it says like Tuesday space YS AR bull hit. I think
like the print
like
is faded or
some
wearing
of the letters
off.
are starting to peel and come off and fade and stuff. So
you use a bad vendor, Redline.
What do you mean fix the
camera? I didn't make that shirt.
It should be fixed.
He's saying I said you use a bad vendor.
Why would I make a shirt?
Why would you do that, Redline? Why do you hate us?
Oh, I thought he said your daughter like mentioned that or something.
I don't have a daughter. He's talking about Manic.
No, Manic's daughter said that, and I said it was Redline's favorite shirt because Tuesdays are bullshit.
Manic. Totally thought he was talking about you too, Redline. Just saying.
Yeah,
we were talking about your merch before, and so I just missed that little.
I did. I made it a new one. I don't know if you saw it. It sucks.
Does it say Tuesdays are bullshit?
Also, you know what? We haven't done a single shot tonight. I mean, I've been
Well, you may haven't. I have.
I've been drinking a cocktail all night, or a couple cocktails now, but I haven't had it. We haven't done a shot. We got
cocktail, she.
What are we gonna do? Shot two? Let's do a shot to my new tiki mug. Look at this bad boy. That fucker's badass.
I dig it. Yeah.
The guest notes.
Pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was good. Well,
nice.
That came with.
I had a little sadder. I had a sadder shot to do, but I was gonna do a shot to RC Elkin.
That's pretty good.
Her brother passed away, so I was gonna do a
shot.
shot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do a shot for that. So
that's not as good.
Thanks for bringing us down.
As I said, like, it's a sad shot, but you know, like shots to RC.
Also, I think Ashtarothi said his kid doesn't have COVID. I think so. That's,
good deal.
I'm gonna. I was gonna say if we're
you mean he doesn't
doing
have
the
any more?
people's health,
He tested positive, right? So he got
maybe he's over it or something.
Okay.
He said something about it earlier.
Yeah, I remember him saying that he tested positive, and then they brought him home. But so.
You can buy this shirt or pay in 4 easy payments of $5.50.
Is there an affirm link?
Oh my god, that's awesome, Redline. You're so fucking awesome.
I didn't make that part.
Well, it's there.
It's basically affirmed.
This is website.
What?
4 payments of $6.84 Canadian with Afterpay.
Oh man, they should just up it 60 cents. Like, why not?
Do I get the shirt up front, or do I have to wait until all 4 payments are done?
All 4 payments.
You get it up front.
This is layaway. This is layaway. No. This is layaway.
When you
It's
make
not
your
actually
first payment,
layaway.
they'll send you a picture of the shirt you're going to get when you finish paying.
I'm assuming it's like affirm, and it runs. You have to put in like a credit check thing and whatnot, but it's really rapid, and it's
Select rest shipping and checkout.
to encourage people to buy
December
things that they're not
25th.
quite ready to buy financially.
I don't think
Can
it's
I bring
Kraken,
my
Liz. I
drink?
think he's got a whiskey.
And what they do is they pay the vendor
What
up
are you
front,
Me?
and they do the bill
Yeah.
pay stuff, but they take a cut.
Is it
And it's
Kraken rum?
roughly probably like
It can't
8-10%.
be- No, Kraken doesn't use a cork. Oh, it is Kraken.
No.
My company just
right
started
now,
doing that shit.
That's what I got the tiki mug with. Was the Kraken?
Oh, okay. I like Kraken rum.
Cork is even better. Pirate rum.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Is that like
Genkin Freighters.
It's like Gankin Freighters. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Not sure I'd want to drink something that felt like that.
Not like getting ganked.
depends on what side you're on.
Sad.
Getting ganked in a freighter. It's like ganking the freighter.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
better.
Okay, that's a little bit different.
See,
Sweat
I've been on both
and
sides of that,
testosterone.
and
They both
One
suck.
is better than the other.
yeah.
One
I
is
mean-
definitely better than the other. That's for sure.
Although I will say that the getting ganked wasn't as bad because Dirk reimbursed my freighter, so I was like, oh. Well, it was a jump freighter too, so it was a little bit more of a reimbursement.
I knock on
Was it-
wood.
Was it filled
Not
with
lost a
shit?
jump freighter yet.
No, the funny thing is, it
Right
had,
there with you, Dom. I
it had
haven't yet
one
either.
thing in it, and
Come close.
I was drunk, and
I've been there.
Drunk Canadian wanted a fitting, or he wanted a rig for his carrier.
Yeah,
And
his
so
carrier.
I just
You
for
moved
some
a
reason,
jump freighter to get a single rig.
yeah, because in my mind I thought the rigs were like way more M3, and so I was like, oh, I can't use a hauler. Oh, sorry, I got a jump freighter, so I put it in there, and then I found I was like, oh, it's only like 40 M3. Well, whatever. I'm already in my jump freighter. It's fine. It's safe. It's safe because I had
I'm
my
fucking huge, bro.
well, no, I had my Sino guy in low sec ready to go,
Sure.
just in case.
Were you using webs?
No, because the thing is if I start getting bumped or attacked, I just jump out, and so it's fine. And like if I see like a bunch of people, then I'm just gonna jump immediately.
So where did it
before
go south?
Because I was not paying attention and I was not using my neutral alt. I was using my war decked actual like TNT character.
So you just got to fight War Target.
Yeah, so I didn't realize I normally I go on my neutral through high sec. This I was on my TNT character, which had like 5 different war decks.
Sure.
And I jumped through the new Caldari gate and got pointed, and so I couldn't jump to my safe Sino. And I remember sitting there being on comms like, "Where's Concord? Why? Why am I not getting
Where's the
help?"
cops when I need them?
Like, and I looked and I saw that like the people's like icons were like red. I'm like,
they were very
wait,
angry.
that's not like red like
What
negative
did I
10
do?
standing. I was like,
Shit.
I looked. I'm like, oh, that's a war target. What? No. So I died. At least I had a good time. I was laughing my ass off. And then I told Dirk what happened, and he's like, "You're a fucking idiot. How much was that?" I'm like, 7.5 billion, so he sent me like 8 billion. I'm like, thanks, man. Bought a new arc, good to go. But
there's an in-game item.
They wouldn't do it today though. Inflation's a real thing.
Yeah, now they're like fucking expensive. Now they're like what, 9
Is
billion?
Wibla happy with that?
12, aren't they?
Wibla? No, Wibla. He didn't reimburse me out of the chest. He just gave me it out of his wallet, his own personal wallet. So
Dirk did or Wibla did?
Dirk did.
Oh, if Wibla gave you $8 billion, I would.
Yeah, no, Wibla would be like, no, he's a fucking idiot. Don't give him any money.
Bullshit. Yes.
Yeah, no, Wibla wouldn't have fucking reimbursed me for any of that. I'm sure Wibla was like, why did we lose a jump freighter in high sec?
I was just gonna say he's probably pissed.
Why did we lose a jump freighter in high sec when we have like 5 war decks on? I was like, oh.
There's an in-game item called a capital parking ticket, and I do my best to hand it out to my guys when they get their first jump freighter to just keep in it at all times, like with their reswap to expanders or hyperspatials or whatever they are, and like ice stabs and stuff. And I just feel like it's a capital parking ticket.
It exists in game.
Yeah, it's an in-game item. It's one of those like fluff, probably Christmas items from years back.
I don't think I've got one in my museum.
It just seems like a great way to like tuck something fun into your lost mail eventually. To be like, yeah, unpaid parking tickets. Like,
you know what
they were going to catch up to me eventually.
The funnier thing about my loss was that so I was using that 40 M3 out of Talking Stations raid. Thanks for the raid, guys. Welcome to the show. I only was using 40 M3 out of the available because normally you think, okay,
potentially 350,000.
Might as well put some inertia stabs or some like bulkheads, on there to either tank or speed.
Sure.
Nope, I had cargo hold expanders on there because.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, cargo hold expanders.
You really want to give
that out of the 300
that cargo room available. To breathe. Just let it. The room to breathe.
He goes, we actually put it in the middle of the cargo hold so you could see it equally from every angle.
It's like driving down the highway and seeing a flatbed truck with that one thing on the back, like a tiny thing with a big old strap holding it down. That's the equivalent of what you're doing.
Right, yeah.
40 M3 and a fucking jump freighter with cargo hold expanders.
And the funny thing is I had a Pro Raider or also a Stower or whatever. I think
Blockade Runner, you would have
40 M3, you could have put in a fucking rookie ship.
I could, yeah, I know, but
intercept.
You got to go with what you got.
Anything.
Oh, we need one more view, guys.
Anything except for a shuttle.
Oh man, if
we had 69 per second, didn't we?
I'll owe you one later.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
I'll give you one later.
Okay.
Yeah, we should get back to some
more about the patches.
Yeah.
Patch.
I was just gonna say my experience with the Orca and the 2 Hulks was about the same. I think for subcap and like not Rorqual miners, this is gonna be basically business as usual. And my little bit of experience, last night or the night before was like, this is the same shit.
So that was my question. Is obviously Orcas are what you use in high sec because you can't use Rorquals. Nullsec or do people really use Orcas in the Nullsec scene? Certainly. As far as mining, or are they just like Rorquals are just better at everything, so why not use it?
It's just different flavors depending on your options. If a system is huge, then you can get away with Rorquals more often because it's going to take people a little bit longer to find you.
So what do we use?
If you're in a very small system, so.
We're pretty much a mining corp now.
Oh, okay, I was saying, are even Nullsec are Orcas a thing that people use in Nullsec, or is it just Rorquals are just better at everything? So why not?
People use all three: porpoises, Orcas, and it's very situational.
Yeah.
So we use porpoises all the time, especially when we went into
enemy space.
Yeah. Well, no, when we went into
Fountain enemy space.
No, just even a starvation or whatever.
Enemy space, yeah.
Scarcity.
And scarcity because it wasn't
starvation.
Worth it. because it wasn't worth putting the Rorquals out. Because the excavators. I mean, it wasn't worth putting.
We're not crying about this shit not tonight.
What's that?
No fucking crying about the Rourke.
I have no.
I'm not crying about. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is it was because the belts themselves. Unless you were on a moon, there was no reason to put the works out because you had to travel so far. And what they did to the anoms, you had to travel so far. So it was just better just to sit in porpoises. And then we repurposed the Orcas to do the same thing. So you could use Orcas because you could basically put Higgs rigs on them, and you can be a constant line and just insta warp, right? So you just use orcas, and you could be with the orcas and porpoises, you could be out in the belts mining and be off the belts quick as shit. So no reason to be in workflows.
I won't say there's no reason. They still serve as the best boosting platform, but I don't think we ever needed locust fleets of Oracles. And the idea that one can boost an entire belt, whatever kind, moon or regular, cosmic anomaly, asteroid belt, whatever, like that seems that plays in my head.
But depending on how safe your space is, or where you're at, or or if you have an umbrella, the Oracles could be awesome, but for a boosting platform. But if you're going to use them for mining, the only place to have them is basically on moons, high end moons. I mean, that's it. But now with the changes, again, only one Oracle for the fleet. The rest could be all done, with subcaps.
Right.
So I mean, it was obviously they probably wanted to. My guess they want above the subcap mining because a lot of people were complaining about subcaps not being. It's like Rorquals or nothing. Back in the days of the Delve time unit and all that shit, like Rorquals, that's what you did. You had to get in the Rorquals if you were doing subcap mining. It's not like you couldn't do it, but like that was the most inefficient thing. So like
it was just a pathway,
there.
right?
Right.
Right.
Like,
well, that's work your way up to consumers and then towards
Rorquals. Now it makes. I feel like it's a good step in the way of making it to where not just newer players, but people that just aren't really wanting to invest the time or the money to get into a bunch of Rorquals.
Well, a lot of miners
can
are
actually still they get a buff to their shit now. But
I mean, you still listen to a lot of miners, even to this day, want a capital mining ship, right? They still want it. With all these changes, obviously CCP is never going to give us or give miners that, right? But you listen to miners, they want a capital mining ship. It's just never going to happen.
A lot. So
I could see merit to it, but not in that version.
Well, and there's also
not the best iteration.
Want to buy mining dreadnought?
It depends on also how people are using stuff. Because if you're like using like a couple characters or something like that, I mean, yeah, subcaps are fine as far as efficiency. But honestly, if you train up into even one Rorqual, despite the waste or residue, whatever you want to call it, one Rorqual is going to be better than whatever 2 ships you're going to use. Even with the residue, you're going to blast through stuff a lot faster. So.
And again, then it also goes back to they don't want to proliferate the game again with a whole bunch of assets and ISK and all that too.
Hats. What?
You'll never get rid of all the assets.
What?
There's definitely a way to approach it, and I think Rorquals were fairly vulnerable enough in their own sense. In the same, there was plenty of whaling and whatnot. There was ways to catch them. There was counterplay.
Yes, I am.
But it was not executed in a proper enough way for what they were doing. They were doing many things at once instead of being a one single focus
thing.
Those
dirty fuckers.
Has a lot of counterplay.
All right, so I guess vote for Reddit line.
Can I make my campaign announcement?
You gonna plug your thing right now?
Look, guys, if you vote for me for CSM, I can almost guarantee you that I will get them to pull the plug.
Plug in.
Which will free us all.
Pull the plug.
My life is probably going to improve, like at least marginally.
My wife would me vote for you for that.
The funny thing is, like, if you ran with, sorry to cut you off, Puga, but if you ran with that as like an honest platform, and then you ended up actually winning, that would be a little scary for CCP because like shit. This guy that his main platform is for us to just pull the plug on the game just won the CSM.
That CSM selection,
that'd be awesome.
That period would just be a wash. They wouldn't listen to CSM because they would be like, "Nah, we're not gonna have some fucking insurgency shit going on this session."
Oh no! Because see, you invite me to those offices, I'll find the plug. I'll pull the thing myself.
You're just gonna pull.
They'll be like, "Oh, Iceland hasn't gotten over pandemics yet. Sorry, you can't.
This is why you're not getting my vote, Redline, because you don't even know that the servers are in London and not in Reykjavik.
What?
No, why'd you have to tell him? I was hoping he'd go there, be all excited that he pulled the plug, and it'd only be CC.
He would be like,
which volcano is all your shit?
Redline, you just turned off the coffee maker.
He would be in detainment, and he's like, we have a guy that's claiming diplomatic immunity for unplugging some servers. I don't know.
And then half the stuff's on AWS now anyway, so.
I wasn't gonna unplug this.
Chat would still be running.
Was it? Is that Amazon Web Services? Is that? It's just like
yeah.
Okay, so that's just
that's what chat's running on.
Is that
they were talking about?
Is this show? Obviously it's Twitch. Yeah, this is Amazon, right? This is obviously running on that.
Yeah, so chat runs on Amazon, and they wanted to put other things on Amazon too, to get it off the actual service. So like the market would go on Amazon.
Yeah, they want the market and the actual whatchamacallit, your inventory system. They want that on there.
The rollout of chat has shown that we should never be able to do that, and I think they also absorbed that message.
Can you imagine if the market was as reliable as local chat? That would be over. All of it done.
Is that, you're saying local chat is reliable or is not reliable?
No,
it's not reliable.
Why not?
60% of the time it works every time, but
that's right.
When it doesn't work, it doesn't.
That's still a D average. I mean, it's fucking passing. Technically,
that's passing.
Barely.
Well, and here we all are, right? It's passing, and here we all are.
Imagine if the real world ran on RNG.
That's probably why it has not been fixed.
That's probably why it has not been fixed. Exactly.
Well, they've been wanting to get rid of chat for years, in general. So, it just happens to randomly turn some systems into like wormhole space.
I like it.
That's a really good theory because
I was a huge proponent of Blackout. I thought it was fantastic.
He was.
If any gaming company.
Oh, it made everyone in the core mad as hell, but I fucking loved it.
I understand that it pissed enough people off that everyone stopped. Not everyone, but a lot of people stopped playing. So I was glad they got rid of it because I didn't want the game to dwindle down to the few people that like Blackout.
The fuck up they made with Blackout.
All right, Dom, I can agree with that if they took away capital jump drives then.
Capital, as long as you keep Black Ops, I'm okay.
Yeah, Black Ops and the capital jump drives can stay on like Jump Raiders and Rorquals, but get rid of all the rest of the capital jump drives.
I'd be okay with that.
The problem with Blackout and why it didn't work out well, and at least largely, or in my opinion, is because they fucked with they fucked with the risk reward balance in EVE too much with that, and it tilted way out of whack because they increased the risk dramatically, but they didn't increase the reward. So like if Blackout had had crazy bonuses,
what reward could there have been? In all honesty, what reward could there have been? It's not like you can Blackout, all of a sudden you get what? I don't get it. What reward could they have offered? I think
you could have doubled the bounties.
Yeah, if they had doubled the bounties, because it went from it went from being able to make the normal ISK you could make to you can make the same ISK as before, but by the way you have next to no safety at all.
I buy into that. Double the bounties.
Now you're in wormholes no matter where you are.
And hold on, they could also have introduced new anomalies that you had to kill to ward off the drifters from killing your local. Lord,
I still want
content.
If you had a module and or expendable, like those like Citadel, like they call them Citadels, but like MTU or whatever, something like that you could launch and create a blank space in local. That would be fun.
Disrupt things, yeah.
Yeah.
For a short bit, they were talking about
it's not permanent, but you can do it. If you want.
They were talking about making like either an iHub or like a some sort of space upgrade that would give you local. And like remember back in the old days with station services where you could shoot them or hack them or whatever it was at any given point.
Yep.
What if people are knocking out local for a constellation, shit like that? There's a lot of.
I'm all for that too. They could have made fuel to put in the jump, into the jump gates.
No. I was apparently LB has to explain what moose milk is.
Once my wife brings me down a glass of moose milk, I will explain to you.
Okay. Because was that like Molson Ice and some milk?
Come on, I want to see this. It's actually moose milk, really?
No, it's not Molson and milk. I asked that, and she said, "You
I will explain to you. This is eggnog, but moose milk is
moose milk
on the way.
Okay.
Okay, so moose milk.
You got like rat milk.
There's like a lot of different recipes for moose milk, but this is like a
milk and rats.
It might be a British / Canadian thing, or it might be a purely Canadian thing.
It's probably
a purely Canadian thing.
It's a Canadian military thing where you take. It's a fucking weird. I'll tell you the recipe my grandma used to use. She would take a block of ice cream. You know, like you can get like a 2-liter carton of ice cream, like vanilla ice cream in the rectangular block.
Just regular vanilla ice cream?
Regular vanilla ice cream. She takes it out of the block, puts it in a punch bowl. She brews a big old pot of strong black coffee, and she pours it over the vanilla ice cream. And then she adds a 2/6 of rye, so a 26-ounce bottle of rye. A 26-ounce bottle of dark navy rum.
Right?
No, it's
like a rye whiskey, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, rye whiskey.
Like this size, right?
Turn it sideways? No, the one up from that.
One up from this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So a 2/6 of rye, a 2/6 of rum, and then I think that's it. And she mixes it all up.
This does sound good. I might have to try.
So now you have like a creamy coffee boozy punch that looks like
and it's ice
the
cream.
color of milk.
That sounds a lot better than the molten ice and milk that I suggested. So.
That didn't sound good at all.
No, it doesn't. That's
what I said. What I said. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me.
So derail it.
This was necessary. My wife is telling me what's in this recipe. What's in it, hun? Eggnog. Ice cream. Heavy cream. That's a lot of cream. Kahlua.
Oh.
Vodka.
It's a white Russian.
So it's probably
White
Navy
Russian?
rum then, if she's in the Navy. Okay.
And
So
Navy
it sounds
rum.
like a.
So it's a white.
It sounds
Russian,
like a big
It's a white
paralyzer.
Russian with eggnog and rum.
Yeah, it sounds like trouble in the bathroom.
Yeah.
The recipe. The recipe varies from like place to place and person to person, but it's
That's
generally like
huge
ice.
variation between the two things you described right
They
there.
both
Yeah.
sound
But
good,
it's
though.
it's ice cream and booze and something else to make a punch.
I
and then you
actually,
get this.
the one that you have right there,
Yeah,
that
I
recipe
think.
sounded better to me because I'm not a big fan of eggnog. So
The ice cream coffee one sounds
I
better.
actually
think.
like. Well, no, the eggnog coffee, the one his
first one.
grandma made.
This one's pretty
okay,
good.
but
She?
that one sounds better.
The one that my grandma makes is a killer. Like
She didn't put eggnog in it, though,
first-
did she?
no, but the first glass you have
the
is like
first one.
fucking poison, and the second glass you have is pretty good, and then the third glass you don't remember.
So you're smiling at the motherfucker at third glass, right?
Yeah.
I was
love
gonna
the
say
third
it
glass.
sounded pretty good too, like very simple, but like
Yeah.
just
No eggnog.
down.
The eggnog
Those
was
are the
simple
best
one.
drink recipes, honestly, are the ones that are just a handful of ingredients, old recipes. That's the best.
Rum and Coke.
Take a shot
Those
for
are
that.
that's a
I'll do a
good one.
shot.
I'm rather partial to the old fashioned when it comes to old cocktails.
Ooh, I like the old fashioned too.
Old fashioned's good.
I make an old-
I'm not a big
a
whiskey
local-
fan. I had an old fashioned at Barry's in Vegas. I could drink it because I can drink
Barry's the steak
anything,
place?
but I didn't. Barry's was like the soup gang place where we kept
Steak-
going
the
for
steak
friend-
place, though,
Yeah,
right?
the steak
Steak
place.
gang.
Yeah, in underneath
That's French onion soup.
Vicky's. Yeah, it's right underneath Vicky's.
Yeah,
Down-
yeah.
Yeah. Excellent steakhouse, really good
This
soup.
glass is from Vicky's, right here.
Oh, okay? Yeah, you stole that glass.
Memento.
Yeah, he stole a drink glass from Vicky's and brought it home. But
That's the way.
But no,
I'm telling
I had an old fashioned
Yeah,
there
fucker, I can
one of the
tell you
times we
that
went
right
down
now.
for some soup, and I was like, I don't know what an old fashioned is, but sure, give me one. And like they did this whole like traditional thing where they like put this, they had this like smoker thing, they like poured smoke on. I don't know whatever they did, but it was, to me, it just tasted like a really strong, dry whiskey. I don't know.
Yeah. It's an old fashioned is sugar, bitters, whiskey, orange.
Yeah, the bitters. I can
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Some places
Like,
put a
so
maraschino
it's gonna
cherry
it's a
in it.
very
Bullshit.
well you can, yeah. I like it
I don't
too.
care for
I
The,
like
the
a
liquor
maraschino
that
cherry.
you use has just a massive impact on the flavor of an old fashioned. Like a local
100%.
distillery here makes a what they call a beer barrel bourbon, where they age their bourbon in old beer barrels, and it adds just a really nice flavor and texture to it. And I love making old fashions with that.
Interesting. That sounds good.
You know, I forgot, Dom. I forgot to get that Slipknot whiskey from you.
No, I forgot to bring it.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember y'all covered this like 2-3 shows.
That's right.
This is like the 4th time we've covered it.
Yeah,
I forgot to bring it. It was my fault. I felt bad. I did drink it. I apologize.
Okay. Well, can I give you money to go buy another one to ship it to me?
You should be able to buy it locally.
Oh, they might have it now.
Locally?
I'll have to check like Total Wine and More. They have like probably the biggest.
What a friend!
Stuff,
so. Do I'll send you a bottle. That's fine.
Let me check local. If I can't find, I know they don't have it at the liquor stores here. So I'll check Total Wine and More. If they don't have it, then I'll send you money and you can buy me.
Yeah, I'll get you a bottle.
Cool.
Has anybody done any of the winter event yet?
No,
I've been looking for it, but
Winter
I just got
holiday.
the right. I just got the crate with the filaments in it, so I'm probably gonna do some tomorrow.
So you got to look for places with storms in them, which took me a minute because I've never done that and given a shit about storms since
How
that's been a thing.
How are we gonna find them without Rain doing the weather anymore?
It's you need a qualified meteorologist.
I mean, but they're on the map now, though. I think you could.
Yeah, that's how you find them.
I think you'll be surprised if Rain still's going to do the weather.
But she hasn't been doing the weather though.
But
she's playing Final Fantasy 14.
She's gonna do the weather though, Drayden. That's what I'm saying.
You think so?
So admittedly,
there's something happening.
Is she getting her own show?
Secret.
Is New Eden Com's doing something?
Weather show?
I've said too much.
Oh,
I don't think you said enough.
You heard it here first. We got the
not enough.
Rain does the fucking weather on New Eden.
Redline clapped them cheeks, and we got them leaks, and we're gonna have a rain.
He's got the leaks, isn't he?
Rain weather.
Even when he doesn't want to.
Shots. I don't know what we're doing shots to, but I'm doing shots.
Fuck yeah, shots.
Moose milk.
The weather show that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Sounds delicious.
Moose milk.
I wish I had some moose milk.
Yeah.
You okay, Duff?
Maybe that was a little strong.
So I did do some of the winter event last night, and I will admit, it's reasonable enough. First off, I will admit I explored around for like 10 systems or so before I like went back, and I was like, how the fuck am I not finding any? And I went back and read the instructions, and I was like, oh, I have to find whatever these storms are. So dicked around for a minute to figure out where that is.
Moving faster than the normal storms.
It's one of those metaliminal storms that like drift through.
Yeah, it's a normal drift speed though.
Oh, I have no idea if they're going to move very fast
like
or anything.
System a day, right?
Sure.
No, a system, yes, not a region though. Yeah,
system a day.
System a day.
Maybe,
yeah, yes. So once you find what region they're in,
yeah, I remember they shift randomly a system a day, but they do try and.
Jason.
They try their best to not backtrack. So the only time they'll backtrack is if they get into a dead end pocket and have to go back the other way.
Does it still get stuck? They used to get stuck.
No, they won't. Well, they shouldn't get stuck.
They used to, when they first came out, they had a hard time if they got into a dead end pocket of getting back out of it. It would stay there.
I wonder if it was a dead end pocket where like it had it was a dead end pocket where it had 2 branches and it would go like one way, go back, and go into this dead end, and then back, and it just kind of like
wasn't smart enough.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I've never dealt with these before.
Couldn't figure out which direction to go. It kept going back and forth. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah.
Sure, bang, bang.
That's the way I understand it. I could be making that shit up, but I don't know.
Bang bong.
I've never had to deal with them. I remember them coming out and I passed through a few in HiSec or something.
Generally, so aside unless they get stuck in a weird like back and forth thing like that, like they should just randomly roam, but they are supposed to. So that's why it keeps it going in one direction. Usually, is that they don't want to like because otherwise, if you're in a system where it's like. Pipe system, it's 50-50, but if it came from one side, it's going to be 100% keep going the other way because they won't backtrack. And then when you get into branches, it's, even division of going to one of the branches except for the one it just came from. So they should essentially freely roam.
So I went there. I ran the data sites. It's one single hackable can. It was very easy. That part was nice that they did that for me. One of my court mates ran one of the combat sites, and it suggests a T2 fit battle cruiser. He ran it in like a T2 fit Ishtar or whatever, just a null like crabbing Ishtar, and he died. And apparently he was like, I rely on speed, and I got in there, and there's like one single battleship rat that I guess newts and webs, and he was like, and I never got to find speed, and it just went bad. So
I heard that they're really. Those sites are really anti-drone. Like as soon as you check drones out, they're like, "Fuck your drones."
Yeah, I've heard that as well. which makes me kind of want to try it in Nagila just because they get a little bit of the leg up on the drone health. But you're very still reliant on your drones. So
just run it in a fucking Demos like a man.
You just run it in something that doesn't use drones. Wouldn't that be smarter?
What rats are in there? Santia, right?
Fuck if I know.
Dude, just run it like a long range Oracle and kite the shit out of it and hope you don't get
Oracle seems like a terrible idea.
No, I'm not kidding.
But battleships, from what I've heard, it probably is just very easily accessible for a battleship. But like a hack, which you would think is kind of punches up, usually did not do well.
Right. Really?
Yeah, probably just like what's a battleship?
Oracle.
I mean, there's the Praxis.
I saw a guy in a rattlesnake doing it, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Rattlesnake?
I mean, you don't have to, but like, why not? You just stomp the fuck on the site. Why not do
like a regular T1 battleship, like a fucking what's that laser boy?
The Abaddon or the NAPOC or something?
The big one?
Yeah, an APOC. Go on APOC.
Go ahead, NAPOC.
I mean, if you have one lying around and you want to, sure. But if you have a rattlesnake, which a lot of people do for crabbing,
I should try that.
Maybe APOC. Hell yeah.
I mean, like you have to go to the place with the stuff, right? Is the place with the stuff near where you live?
And that's the thing. You got to go find these storms. So if it's not an easy walk or a safe walk, then I wouldn't buy anything blingy.
Do it in
that's a good point.
Clear skies all the way.
We do have the filaments though. The winter filaments. They're back, right? So you can get
what does that
reindeer filaments?
I've just seen the ice
reindeer
ones,
filaments.
though.
Hold on, let me pull.
Those kick ass, yeah.
I thought it was just like gonna bring you to ice sites, which I guess is gonna be in those storm systems anyway. But
yeah, so the Dasher 01 high sec takes you to high sec to a metaliminal storm in high sec.
Well, that's bad.
For one individual capsuler, so I think they have 1s and 5s.
1, 5s, and 15s. I thought.
Can we do that?
So, yeah.
Can we do that in a freighter loaded down with a bunch of shit?
I don't.
And just yeet to high sec?
There's no. I don't think there's a limit.
Has anybody
on
tried this?
Right?
Do we have any people testing?
I think you can yeet a freighter with a filament.
Why couldn't you? Is there restrictions on it? I can't remember if there is.
I don't know if there's rats in this ice site, but I mean.
Did you say you don't know if there's Christians on it?
There's never Christians on mine. I can tell you that.
I don't know if I misheard that. But I don't think there's Christians on that. Can you run it?
Office Christians. By the time they get off my ship, they're no longer Christians.
So, anyways, there's free gifts where you're logging event gifts. You get these filaments, and you can filament yourself into an ice storm where you can do the combat, the mining, or the hacking sites.
Oh shit!
And then there's
ones
that will take you.
Examples are right: combat, hacking, and mining.
Yeah, they're all available inside the melaliminal storm. I need some more moose.
The melanominal
storm.
Melanin.
Metastasized.
You guys are fucking me up. What the hell are you talking about?
The melatonin storms.
The aluminum storm.
Melatonin is motherfucker.
Aluminium storms.
The aluminium
storms.
Whatever. Fuck. You go there and get
the MSs.
So that's where you find the sites, which is kind of an interesting thing because people are going to have to zerg those few places where they are. Microsoft. And I bet there's going to be a lot of competition.
Because there were some events like you'd have to really hunt these fucking things down. Half the time you would get into a system and somebody would have already cherry picked the fucking thing, or
you can't really take a really expensive ship to it if you have to hunt it down in the middle of nowhere, right?
It might be tough, right?
Why would you not? I do that.
I wouldn't get in a rattlesnake and try to drive around and find one.
If it's in your space, sure, but yeah, he's right.
Fucking Marshall
with the filaments, you
can do
it. Jump on your rattlesnake, grab a high sec filament and a null sec filament, yeet yourself to null sec, do a couple combat sites, yeet yourself to high sec, shut her down. Done.
But not with your TNT ult.
Low sec ones?
And then you have to fly your rattlesnake through.
They have high sec, low sec, and null sec.
Then you have to fly your rattlesnake through the low and null, the high and low sec gate camp possibly, and then the low and null sec gate camp that you're going to come across.
Oh, you're talking nonsense now.
I mean, they don't always exist. Sometimes like those gates, they're just fucking abandoned. But sometimes, I mean, like if it's like an MTech Go or systems like that,
used to be so much worse. But they still
exist, unless you have it scouted maybe and some backup. But
I mean, it sounds like you can yeet around, so you probably would be fine. But
I would just have like so many
15-minute cooldown,
nullsec yeet things that you just yeet around until. Well, hold on. There's a cooldown on those, right?
Filaments were
15 minutes, right?
15, yeah. It puts a timer on. That's right. So just put a
you
cloak.
Probably run like
put a cloak on your
Put a cloak on.
Put a cloak on it.
Don't be a fucking wussy and just fight.
Well, and that's
That's an option. Yeah, it's like just don't be a bitch. You're in a rattlesnake.
Fly that Armageddon.
Exactly.
Rattlesnakes
throw out some drones.
I don't know if they did when the AT, but
kick out some newts.
Rattlesnakes won some AT matches.
Oh, rattlesnakes are prohibitively expensive. Again, if you're not in your space, he's completely right. Like, do not be doing that.
Bullshit. Rattlesnake to fucking roam out there.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start selling some rattlesnakes, and you guys absolutely follow this advice.
No, I want to watch you guys do it. I don't want to do it. I'll buy you a rattlesnake if you go fucking roaming around and eat
there's two things I noticed. One, the loot table for all the data sites seems to be pretty wide, which is kind of cool. You get a little bit of normal data exploration shit, which I don't do that often, but data cores and whatever.
I don't know.
You get a little bit of overseers, which is just token-esque that you can turn in if you get it to high sec. There was I got at least one skin, which I got a revelation skin, and I was like, hey, that's fun.
Spicy.
Because
good one.
That's a dreadnought.
I mean, it's skin, the glacial whatever. It's like
those aren't bad, but
it's Arctic camo fade or whatever.
Yeah, it's just blue and black or blue and white.
Yeah.
Blue and white, I think. Yeah.
But it's a capital skin, and I'll take it.
It's fine. Yeah, you can actually see.
But exactly, that's
well,
my
I see all the
whole rationale with capital skin.
I'm like, most people will see that because it's a capital.
Right. That's exactly how I feel. But
so scroll through mine every gate I go to.
Hell yeah.
There's an agency progression bar, so it's like shoot a capsuleer with a snowball, shoot a data site, hacking cam with a snowball, shoot a rat with a snowball, do a combat site, do a whatever, ice mining site, and there's all these different agency ones as well that will give you guaranteed skins, and it tells you the progression of what you can get. There are some cool skins in there as far as like Vedmak, Orthrus, Gila's at the very end, of course, because there's too many Gilas in the world.
Did you get the Tron Caldari skins?
They're whatever purple and blue,
ones, but
it's almost kind of vaporwave. I guess.
Vital Shift Ego. Vital Shift Ego. It's like I just call them the Tron skins because they're Tron skins, but
gotcha.
Yeah, Vital Shift Ego is so good.
I don't know like what all skins they will do. I got a Rev. One of my guys got a Nidhogger skin of some flavor. I don't think it was the same.
Would you like to know about skins? I could tell you about skins.
I bet you could.
Do you want to know more?
Would
you like to know more?
1,171 activated skins. So
there's a picture of the Augurer skin you can get, which is like one of the first.
It's like
Are you doing your part?
I am not.
Probably not.
Like a blue, purpley.
Bitches.
Yeah, it's kind of like maybe like 1992 neon colors that you might wear.
Aurora Borealis coming off the bottom there, like completely localized.
What are you fucking talking about?
No. Is there like a visual effect coming off the ship?
Speaking of
on
skins,
the bottom there of the Augurer.
Oh, nice. I don't have my graphics turned up.
Can I interrupt a little bit? I'm going to pour another shot real quick. The Yawiuli, the Yawali, the
Yawali,
the Yaoel skins. The Yuletide skins, whatever the green ones that have the lights that light up. Those are going to start lighting up day to day coming up in a few days, I think. Because they start lighting up like 12 days before
Christmas?
Christmas?
The Advent Christmas calendar or something.
It's kind of like that. I think it's 12. I think there's 12 lights. So the skin all year round is the first light is lit up and that's it. One light. But once it gets to 12 days before Christmas, I guess it's 11 is where you start seeing it change, but. So 12 is the one light, then each day the next light lights up on your thing, and all the way up until the day of Christmas, where all the lights are lit up. So those are going to start happening. So
Crusader, why are you
December 13th. So what is today? It's the 10th. So in 3 days, or maybe 4 days, I don't know the math, but those are going to start lighting up more.
This is the second Christmas since those were released, right?
Yeah. So I remember.
So that's going to be a yearly thing. That's pretty cool.
I have one for my Ark. LB, I got you one for.
I think it's the Astero. It's the Yule.
It was either the Astero or the Stratios, because I know that at the time I was trying to buy skins for people that like the shit they flew. And you were doing Astero stuff a lot back then, I think, so I'd give you that one. I think Rain, I gave her the Nyx one because she was doing Nyx stuff all the time. She was like, always talking about her super carrier.
Peels.
I see how it is.
Well, I'm like I said, you don't have a Nyx, LB. You don't have a Nyx.
That's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
But I guess some other people's ones. But yeah, so I am gonna probably, if they have those skins on sale again, I'm gonna probably buy a bunch and we'll probably next week we'll give them out. Now next week it's gonna be past the initial start, but like, you know, it'll be halfway through. But you know, we'll get the skins out and give them away with some draws and stuff, and then you know you can start with like half of your lights lit up, and then each day you can see it.
Drawing.
Each day you can see a new light lit up. So
there's something else too. From Christmas to the New Year's, there's a little star that protrudes out the front of it too. You know that, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, from Christmas to New Year's, there's a star that
just keep giving.
They call it the new star that protrudes out the front of it.
To it as it gets closer. There's like
I didn't know that.
I really like this.
There you go. Somebody's showing it right there.
I know it's minor, but I really like it.
Somebody's showing it where?
Well, he was just showing it on his stream. Go back to that thing. He was just on it.
What do you mean? Go back to we aren't showing you another stream.
No, he was just showing it on in Discord. Go back.
Discord.
There it is, right there. See it on the picture right there. There's that actual like little green dot. That's what they call it, like the North Star or whatever. So it's.
Oh shit! I didn't realize you were doing that when you said.
Oh,
that.
LB.
I was looking into all the channels. I was like, "Where are you talking about? You're showing."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so it's those skins are really cool. So I think I'm gonna buy.
I can watch this while you didn't do it again, dude.
Yeah,
They are for sale again. The Yule.
Okay. So I'm gonna buy a handful of those, and so next week, guys, I kind of wish I'd known about this. I didn't think about it until literally just now.
He doesn't know how to do a raffle, so it'll take a long time for us to figure this out.
I will also research how to raffle, so we're ready for next
week.
You've
done it before.
I know, but I never remember how because we don't.
It's like PI.
To get skins away around here.
I gotta read a guide every time.
But anyway, so next week, I'm a pro streamer. I you know what? I've been doing this for a long time, and I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But next week we'll give out the skins. I'll buy a handful.
Dude, that's fucking fantastic.
But yeah, so they're fun skins. So it's like half the lights will already be lit up, but you know what? You get to see the light each day, and they work every year. So like every year.
Yeah, it's cool.
They keep tracking. It's a really cool skin design. It's one of the coolest ideas I've seen them have, where it's like it correlates to a certain time of year where it actually is an interactive skin where it changes day to day type of thing. So
I wonder if there's server load involved.
I don't think so. I think it's all. No, I think it's local. It's just a local.
It's just
thing
checking your local calendar.
Yeah, I doubt it's a thing that they want to put server load on. So I think it's just a thing where it's like it just keeps track of your local.
I don't know.
PC.
I think we need to have like a Christmas World War II football game, but like shoot the shit out of each other. And just,
I feel like it's something they can code into where like it keeps track of your date and time local, and can just affect your own shit on your own local PC and stuff.
We would
not have to like put server load on their thing, but yeah, it's cool. And so it's actually just so here's the thing. Year round is actually just a cool looking skin regardless. And then the lights are just an extra thing that's really fun to have happen in the second half of December, basically, is what it is. So
I have one for my Airbus, and it's really cool because it really stretches out for. It stretches really far out. That green light, the star thing, stretches way out in front of my bus, and it looks really cool.
Are we having like a length competition?
Big tree energy.
Big tree energy.
Big tree energy.
Are your lights longer than mine, or I don't know, but
mine's brighter.
I did watch a YouTube documentary on icebreakers today.
But yeah, so
nice.
I'll do a shot.
Okay.
Goose milk.
What happened?
Milk.
Oh, goose milk.
It's not goose milk. It's moose
milk. Which would also be applicable, and I hope that there's
goose
one of those as
well.
Okay,
so who's gonna make goose?
The Canadian goose is not an animal.
Yeah, goose milk.
I think I might. I might try something like that.
So here's the thing: everyone talks about goose milk. Geese.
Yeah, you might as well.
Like, what's meaner, like Canadian geese or regular geese?
Canadian geese, 100%.
I think Canadian geese are actually meaner.
They're awful.
100%.
They probably
there's a ton of videos of them like having standoffs with like every other animal
in the world.
They probably just play hockey, and that's why
I hate them.
They're just it's the goons.
They're the enforcers.
They're the goon geese.
Did you see the video of the goose fighting the elephant at the zoo?
No.
Did not, but it definitely tracks.
This goose had giant balls on it.
The
elephant won in the end, but
did it step on it?
He grabbed the goose by the neck with his trunk and flung him
Beat the
away.
shit.
Elephants are.
It's like
this video,
please. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Oh, I have to.
I saw the one where he was surrounded by cows, and he was like standing off, and like the cow was like, "Ah, fuck you," kind of stirring up some dust, and then the goose was like, "I don't care if I'm surrounded by like your whole crew."
I don't know, Jobu. I feel like Canadian geese are really fucking mean. Although I would have to say, like, it's very rare. I haven't really encountered Canadian geese that much.
Boy, no, they're not. They're not true Canadians. They're American Canadians, is what they are.
They're an anomaly. Yeah, they are very Americanized because of migration.
I'm telling you right now.
You know what? I felt really proud.
They come down here and they pick up bad habits, and then they just go back.
I felt really proud today because the new guy that we just hired at work.
Videos in chat, Dom.
Thank you.
The new guy we just hired at work a couple months ago. Today we were doing some office work, and I was like, okay, I was showing some stuff on the computer, and Excel stuff that we do there. And then I was like, okay, also, and something came up. I was like, oh, have you seen this? I think it was my brother was like leaving, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go head out and just take a little bit of drive for a little bit. I was like, you just out for a rip? He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, bud. And like we both started laughing, and the guy was like, I don't get it. I'm like,
I don't get it.
I was
get
like,
this inside joke.
Okay, pause work for a second. We're taking a short break.
Oh shit!
I have to show you something. So I showed him the just out for a rip video, and I was like, this is worth paying you for this time. So that's a good.
Real
video.
quick though, the goose just attacked the elephant. I'm just saying.
If you haven't seen Just Out for a Rip, that is the national anthem of Canada unofficially.
It's true.
Yeah. I even asked Elby. He's like, yeah, I accept that. So I'm like, cool. It's there.
So the thing with Canada geese is that Canadians as a people, pretty polite, pretty relaxed, pretty easygoing. So what happens to that pent up energy and rage
gets focused into your geese?
It all gets funneled into geese. And that's why the geese are such dicks. It's the only way for Canada as a nation to get rid of its pent up rage.
How you stay so your geese are so bad, and that's the reason you're so nice.
We don't want your fucking pent up rage anymore.
The interesting phenomenon is that they pin up their rage and then they send them south for migration. They come down here, they act like total fucking hooligans.
They act like fucking hooligans here too. So
everywhere.
It's not like they're up here like shaking hands and like kissing babies and shit. They're doing the same fucking thing they're doing.
They're wearing the rage everywhere.
I feel like we have.
I feel like you unleashed them upon us.
And shaking hands. You're fucking geese are bullshit. Keep them.
I feel like we have to play out for a rip at some point tonight.
Look, if you watch halfway through this video, you will see like the goose is something to be respected in the sense that they are 10 foot tall and bulletproof in their own little like walnut-sized brains. But
we didn't
goddamn,
lose. I disagree. That fucking geese won.
Fucking cojones bigger than myself.
Fucking goose is ridiculous.
I mean, like everyone talks about geese being big. Although, have you seen that video of that pelican that just tried to swallow a fucking pigeon? That's
seen that.
Fucking lit.
Nature is lit.
Dude, that pelican is just like, I don't give a fuck. I am the new goose.
You're right. And that's the subreddit that we saw that on. Yes.
Yeah. It tried to swallow that pigeon for like an hour. Did it actually do it?
Drayden, did you watch this video with the elephant?
I haven't watched it, but if I do,
it's not terribly long. I'm just gonna say the elephant not only hits him with his hoof at some point, whatever, it does a horse maneuver, which a little bit of a stunner, I assume. Maybe not in the same way as a horse. You know what I'm talking about, though. Does one of these with the old foot.
It's foot.
Gives him one of those, smacks him around in various ways so far. Goose is just like, no, like, I'm pretty sure this is my pond or however, whatever turf war is happening here. God, this is impressive. I feel like y'all should just put it on the stream, but yeah.
No, I'm watching another video. Like a goose taking out a rhinoceros.
I mean, I could put it on there.
I don't need to. I'm enjoying it. You probably won't.
There's no good sense in this bird. That's all I can say. But there's so much fucking cojones.
All right, hold on. We're putting it on. Why not? It's okay. The elephants.
It starts out harmless.
The elephants instigate by throwing water at it. The goose is like.
Well,
hey,
I mean, we don't know what started it. The camera cuts on a little in the middle of the
but the
altercation.
elephant's like,
so,
I'm gonna,
exactly right.
Fuck you, goose, and the goose is like, hey, yo, I'm just chilling here.
I almost asked earlier.
If you look in the bottom of the frame, you'll see another goose there. So I suspect that there is a goose nest in that bush.
That's the goose. You know, like,
okay,
fuck with him.
Yeah,
you gonna take that motherfucker? Oh, you gonna take that motherfucker? You're just gonna like let him throw water at you like that?
So this is just territorial. You know, he's like protecting the nest.
That goose is
or she. You know, whichever.
Oh, it's okay. The elephant's actually. Oh my god! Slap.
Yeah. Bonk.
The goose will fuck you.
Get the fuck out of here, you big-eared fuck.
Oh, like slap.
See what I mean? Like,
oh my god!
See what I mean? It's not a horse, but it's similar. That's a lot of fucking weight coming at you.
It's like watching a Pokemon battle.
Did like a roundhouse kick there?
That's hugely accurate. Pidgeotto, go.
The goose is like, hold on, just wait till I get some water.
Yeah, the goose has got to hydrate.
Just ruffle back your feathers with a little.
I get some water in me. Fuck you. I'm coming right. Now the chicken's after his ass. See? No respect from the fucking waterfowl.
Yeah, right.
Wait, there's a chicken?
Yeah, the chicken in the back. Yeah.
Oh, this elephant's like, I ain't done with you, motherfucker. You say what? Bitch, say what?
I told you.
That's my rock.
Get off my rock.
That's my favorite rock.
I fucking told you.
Goose is like, you see this motherfucker? Yeah, I'm gonna get him. Don't worry, I'm gonna fucking get him.
Got his head all low, real aggressive like.
Talking to his goose wife.
That's right. His goose wife's making him do it. Don't you let him tell you that. You tell him to get the hell out of here.
It's gonna wake the
I love
kid.
this whole like.
A portion of this video was sponsored by Salesforce.
Oh, I clicked on. Oh, hold on.
No,
this is the biggest, most in-depth video about bowling ever.
You watch, the one I got is basically the same goose or goose family with, on a rhinoceros.
Now you got to try to get sponsored by these guys because you're obviously shilling their shit.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I clicked on Daily Dose of Internet. No, it was Veritasium video. My bad. I thought it sounded like Daily Dose of Internet because usually it's like, this is a video of this. This is your Daily Dose of Internet. I like those videos, but yeah. So I don't know. I think the elephant had a lot of instigation there. I mean, like the goose was doing goose shit, but at the same time, the elephant was kind of like egging that shit on. He's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do now, motherfucker? What about now?"
I mean, but
like
here's the thing:
water and shit, and then kicking him.
You know, you were in the elephant's display zone at the zoo.
Yeah, but
that was his zone.
But does he
or
own
her
that
zone? Whatever. That was the elephant zone.
I don't see his name on it.
It's his fucking cage.
It's probably got a name on it because it's probably African elephant, but no,
so
it's
secondly,
it's probably Asian elephant. The ears were little
geese and swans, and a dog, and who's causing the problems? The fucking Canadian geese. It's ridiculous.
Can we watch Out for a Rip?
I mean, it's your show.
No, it's our show. I want to play that before we go. We have half an hour.
Wait.
We can wait. But
play what before
since
we
we're
go?
on,
There's swans. There's Canada geese with babies.
We're on
there's
the YouTube,
regular gooses.
We're on the YouTube venture right now. I just figured we get out of our system.
Geese causing trouble.
I mean, I'm saying, if no one's seen Out for a Rip,
what?
Put it on, brother.
Have you not seen it, Tom?
I don't know what you're talking.
I don't know if I've seen it or not.
Oh
is it a
is
it a Letterkenny
thing? You guys haven't seen this. Okay.
Is it a Letterkenny thing or is it, trailer?
No, it's these guys.
I'm from the South, brother.
I was wondering if there's like an FPS Russia thing. Like they're not actually Canadian, and I think I was like, no, they're actually Canadian. I think they're actually from Ontario.
You've played this.
They're not in Toronto, but I think they're like a couple hours northeast of Toronto, like rural. But
nobody likes Toronto. Even Canadians don't like
Toronto. When I went to Toronto, I actually thought it was kind of nice.
Toronto people don't even like Toronto.
With the exception of when you get downtown, the cab drivers and the Uber drivers are fucking nuts. absolutely. I've been to other cities where I thought the drivers were a bit crazy. Like when I was in Toronto, like there was an Uber driver. I was taking an Uber to the restaurant where the first night I got there, checked into my bed and breakfast, and was like, okay, now I'm gonna go out and meet these guys for dinner, drinks. First night we're out here, and the guys like leave it. It was like downtown. It was at the Ice Towers or Ice Condominiums or whatever. So it was like downtown, like new downtown Toronto. And this guy's like going through this thing, like he's got a red light to turn right, but you know you can turn right on a red if you yield. But you know, pedestrian traffic is going because they have the right of way, and he's just like turning and then going and then like stopping, and he's like almost like stopping, pushing the pedestrians out of the sidewalk or out of the crosswalk so that he can just like go. And it's like he's like inches from like inches from like pushing people in the crosswalk to like push them with his car out of the fucking way so he could just like go. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like you have a red light and these guys have the it's safe to walk now sign and you're like pushing them out of the way so you can drive.
Where was that? Toronto?
It was Toronto, like downtown Toronto.
Yeah, well, Toronto's not Canada.
Right. And I was like, I thought that was just like a fluke. And after like 3 or 4 days of being there, that kind of, I saw that as like a 50-50 norm in the intersections in Toronto. I'm like, what the fuck? But
fuck pedestrians.
But
I tell you, Canadians don't recognize Toronto as being part of Canadian.
So. I have a very short Canada Goose video. It's in chat. Very short.
Nice.
It's basically how to navigate around Canada Geese.
Yeah, it's with a golf club.
Very weird.
Cobra chickens, that's right.
Oh, the indigenous species in Canada can be real aggressive, eh? So
I feel like we just need to have more like bullhorn.
Get fucked.
Apparently that's the fix.
Okay. I like that. Okay. All right, we don't have to play it now. I got. Okay, we're on YouTube. Let's just do it now. Get it out of our system because I'm thinking about it, and then we can go back to Eve. I don't know.
I was wondering if you guys had some more Eve.
If you haven't seen this, I would suggest tuning into the stream, Ackroth, if you're not already watching. Turn the volume on.
I will watch this.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
This is actually probably the best song to ever come out of Canada.
I just usually keep
Alanis
it
Morissette, sorry. Nickelback, sorry. You guys don't get that award. I don't know if they would have been it, but
I mean, financially, they probably did.
Yeah, but it's good.
Actually, no, Celine Dion, of course. Fuck, she's made like more money than God.
I'm gonna get a drink while we're waiting. We're watching.
I'm from the Great White North, right? Like up above the States? Yeah. The big landmass that the rest of the world hates? Fuck yeah. We're like above that. Fucking north, I guess. The big patch of trees where everybody's bored to death. We're just chilling up here, sipping syrup, playing hockey. Before we learn to walk, we can cross-check properly. Just rocking plaid jackets. Chainsaws, we operate them right. Fucking A-right we do, bud. We cut our weight in firewood. Every 20 minutes or so. Smoke break. And if the Leafs make the playoffs, I'll fucking jump in the lake. Fucking buddy comes over to my place the other night and he's like, you wanna go out for a rip? And I was like, fucking right. Yeah. So we hop in the truck and hit the mud and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, bud. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. Just out for a rip, are you, bud? Just out for a rip. I come come from the land of the polite, where shit's covered in ice. So when I'm down in the States, they're like, you're too fucking nice. Like, yeah, we got manners, but fucking buddies still fight and fucking swear and fucking drink all night. Like this one time, me and fucking Buddy are out having a dart, and fucking Buddy burns a hole in my coat, and I was like, fuck Bud, because the coat was pretty new, right? And he's like, fuck you. So I put his head in a snowbank and just started fucking feeding him the right left, like fucking boom, boom, boom. Got enough yet? And he's like, okay, fuck, chill out, shit. So I pulled him out of the snow and we went out for a rip. Yeah, just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah, just out for a rip, fucking right. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah, just out for a rip, fucking right. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah, just out for a rip, fucking right. Just out for a rip, are you? Fuck yeah, just out for a rip, fucking right.
That's how we sound like in Wisconsin and Minnesota the whole song
here. Like there. But yeah, it's like, oh god, it's so good. It's so good. Like it's so clever and like I don't know. I like that song a lot. I show it to people and half of them are like, oh, that's really cool, and half of them are like, I don't get it. It's like you know what? Fuck you. You don't. Fuck you if you don't get it.
Yes, he does show it a lot.
Yeah.
LB, are you familiar with "I Hate Winnipeg"?
No, I am not.
Apparently, that was a semi.
Why would you hate?
Apparently, it's a Canadian thing that they hate Winnipeg.
I don't like Winnipeg.
I thought people didn't like.
I think it's a recurring opinion within your country. But it was like radio play back in the
I don't live in Winnipeg.
I thought you did.
No, that's like Manitoba. Who lives there?
Manitoba.
I thought LB did.
No.
Bunch of
they live in both places.
Lives in Alberta.
Manitoba.
Winnipeg. I just doxed LB.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, come get me, you fucks.
I mean, it's a big place. It's a big place, but
it is kind of funny because the different provinces really hate each other.
Come get me, you fucks.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny how the different provinces really hate each other.
Yeah, it's the Jets. I always forget. Winnipeg has a team. I always forget who the fuck it is. It's the Jets.
I did
Don't
some
they
work.
Suck all the time.
Jersey Jets. Yeah, they're terrible.
Winnipeg Jets went away for a while. Like they got sold off.
Yeah.
They disappeared.
Didn't they come back?
Came back.
Yeah, they came back.
Because like also the Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers left. Are they back?
Did the Oilers leave? No, I don't think so.
Oh no, the Houston Oilers left. Fuck. Never mind.
Yes,
that's the Tennessee Titans.
That's a funny story. So when I went to work in Canada, I back in like 2007, 8-ish, I started a drilling job, and they sent me up to Canada for training. I used to live in Houston, so
yeah. Okay, yeah.
And all that shit.
Like, there was
so
an
I went up
Oilers
to Canada
team that left, but it was the Houston Oilers, not the Edmonton
I got
Oilers.
brought to a mall at some point with the guy that was training me, and we were just hanging out for like 3 weeks and free time and stuff. And he brought me to a mall, and there was a sports shop that we went into for some reason or another, and they had Oilers shit, and I was like, I'm from fucking Houston Oilers. They were already gone by that point. But I was like, so I bought some Houston Oilers stuff. This guy was from
Edmonton.
I think he was from Edmonton, but he was a Flames fan. He was a Calgary Flames.
I like the Flames.
And maybe not. Maybe he might have been from Calgary. I don't remember. But I just remember like he was about the Flames and he had like a watch or something. And I bought an Oilers hat because I was like, fucking Oilers, not knowing anything about hockey. And so I have a brown Oilers hat, which their logo is sick. It's a little oil droplet or whatever. But it I don't know. It was nice. It was fun, like little inside joke for me because I went back to Houston wearing this Oilers hat all the time, but like a vastly different team.
Wasn't their symbol a derelict, right?
Ours was, yes.
Yeah.
It's not the it's not the Eiffel Tower.
The Houston Oilers was like just like an oil well essentially. Not the
basically
big
for
arm
Beaumont
hammer. It was just like it almost like
the gusher,
almost like the Eiffel Tower, but a little different. Like, but
right.
That's the pump.
So while I was there, though, apparently there was this thing that like we were working right outside of about an hour or two outside of Winnipeg. And there was apparently around that time there was a song that was like prominent on the radio called "I Hate Winnipeg," and that was like a thing that a lot of people apparently not from there were like, yeah, the city sucks comparatively. And
I didn't think Winnipeg was that bad, but I've never been there. I don't know. I've never heard anything bad.
Well, how would you not think it was that bad then?
Well, I've never heard anything negative about it.
No, as far as cities go, it was pretty drab. It's very industrial and not a lot of skyline.
About like Regina, because Regina has like one of the.
I had a good time.
It's not that big of a town, but apparantly Regina has the highest.
I like my Regina.
That just makes me think of 40-year-old virgin.
Regina, that's not Manitoba.
What is it, Gina?
Also, is it?
Gina, actually.
It's Regina.
Is it Regina? No, it's Regina.
Regina is in Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. Okay, yeah. So apparently Regina, not the most, but as far as like per capita, has like the highest murder rate in all of Canada.
Oof.
Like it's kind of like one of those like
that's Winnipeg.
20 years.
I think that's Winnipeg.
Are you sure?
Winnipeg is also like the
I thought that
Slurpee
Regina was higher,
of
but
the world.
Slurpee capital.
Winnipeg is also in Saskatchewan, right? Or that's Manitoba.
Which is
no, Winnipeg's in Manitoba.
Okay, Manitoba. Okay.
Yeah.
So all the Canadians that we
provinces fucked up, but
so all the Canadians that we get down here, like in the Twin Cities, they all bitch about Winnipeg and they all bitch about Toronto. You know, the couple of like all Canadians hate these certain cities. You know.
Yeah. Apparently, Winnipeg's just drab comparatively to a lot of other cities.
But
on my move out west, we stopped there, and it was.
I get it. It makes sense.
But
they do consume
as far as
more
hockey
Slurpees
teams,
than
like,
anywhere else.
I think the Flames are my favorite Canadian hockey team. Although
But the Bitch Pigeons are your favorite American team, right?
we have the Kraken.
They exist.
And I don't know if the Kraken played this
Isn't
last
that
season.
like
I think the Kraken are
Pigeons.
starting this season or next season. I can't
It's
remember.
next season, I think, isn't it?
No, this season. No, they started this season. They haven't been doing well. This is their debut season.
They started this season.
Yeah,
Isn't that like something to do with like the Trump?
It's because they're not called the Bitch Pigeons. They're gonna suck until they accept their true
they're
name.
the Seattle Kraken, and I think they've been like
They
shitty.
need to accept their true
They
name.
started off like 50-50, and then they kind of downhill from there, I think. But
We'll steal some
I'm like
Canadians
a
soon, and
Flyers
they'll be fine.
/ Avalanche fan, but I do like I would say the Flames are also like probably my number 3.
Oilers, baby.
I know that the Iowa State
I used to like the
Cyclones
Sabres,
shit
but
out of
I
the
didn't.
Iowa
The
guys
only
Go
reason I like
Blue.
basketball.
the only reason I like the Sabres is because Dominic Hasek, and once he left, I'm like, yeah, fuck that team. Because
That's Buffalo Sabres,
Hasek
right?
was because I used to play street hockey goalie, and Hasek was like, I was like, I'm gonna be a slinky too, and
Really similar
you
games.
know, but
See, I'm a homeboy, so I love the Wild. So
yeah.
It's all about them Oilers.
well, I used to like the Stars, but they went to in Dallas. So
Yeah.
Fuck Dallas.
They were
As a Texan,
they
fuck
were
Dallas.
somewhere else before Dallas.
yeah, they were They were Minnesota
No,
North Stars.
Oh,
Minnesota North Stars, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
Minnesota
come
North
back.
Stars.
I didn't know back then. Yeah.
It's
I
hard
do
to
miss
keep
the
good
days. It
teams
was
in
the
flyover
Dallas
states.
Cowboys versus the Houston Oilers, dominance of Texas. I remember those were great days because
Dude,
we won.
Minnesota
All
I have
I
one
don't
court
know
mate
if I-
who's from England who is a Cowboys fan, and
Is
I'm like,
Minnesota Wild an expansion team?
From a
Yeah,
while
it's-
back,
it's-
about 10 years ago. Or
Why is
Oh,
it
okay,
15
okay,
years
yeah,
ago.
okay. Because I was like, I don't think I've heard of
15
the
years ago.
Wild.
15
Well,
years ago, maybe.
That's probably about the last time I really paid attention to hockey that much. But
Oh yeah, they've been around a while.
Yeah.
I
They always get to the playoffs, and they're a one and done team.
No, but they're our farm team. We get to be the farm team.
yeah,
So I'm okay. with that.
are they still fighting as much, or is that kind of getting?
Valamir's saying that
tamed
they have
down?
the best logo in the NHL. It's a cool logo. Now I'm looking at it. It's pretty good.
Best NHL logo right here.
Yeah. Is that the sticker I gave you, Dom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. It's like that looks big, but
I'm holding up to the camera.
okay, yeah. I gave I
Perspective.
gave out some. I was wondering because like I brought a bunch of Bitch City Pigeon stickers to Vegas, and I was like, I'm gonna hand these out.
Bitch City.
Yeah, Rain City Bitch Pigeons.
Rain City.
Bitch City.
Did
Where in the U.S.
Pigeons.
Did I ever tell you that story?
Where in the U.S. do we consider bitch city? I'm just curious.
So
Seattle, apparently.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say San Francisco, but I
No,
don't know.
No. So, Pukin, I don't know if
Where's
I told
the
you,
France
but,
of
the Rain City
America?
Bitch Pigeons.
San Francisco.
When Seattle was creating its hockey team, they sent out like a vote to the public to like what should we call our team, and a bunch of people sent in
Bodie
submissions.
McBoatface.
And obviously, Kraken is the one that won. But one of the things that was sent out was the Rain City Bitch Pigeons, which is like a play on the
Turned the wrong way,
Seattle
sorry.
Seahawks. and making fun of the Seattle Seahawks like Rain City bitch pigeons, and they made a thing with it, and they sold stickers in November. The guy from PL told me about it, and I like one night. It was on an open comms night.
Wisely bought a bunch.
Yeah, so I was drunk. I was like, I'm gonna buy these stickers. So I was gonna buy like I was gonna buy like 10, but then they're like, if you buy 50, you get like 50% off. I'm like, oh fuck, then give me 50 stickers.
Fuck yeah, mate.
I think I might have actually ordered 100 because I think I ordered 100 stickers, and it was these. It's Rain City bitch pigeons, and it's like a pigeon in a slicker that looks pissed off.
Nice.
And I was like, that's so good. It's so good.
That would be American as hell, and it makes me really sad that it failed.
I bought a shitload of those stickers, and I've given a bunch out to like friends and family, and then I went to Vegas.
And you're saving one
like,
for me.
I gave out like 50 in Vegas, and now I'm down to like 10 stickers. So I'm like, shit, are those like limited run? Because I might.
I'm sure they're one-time run.
I might need to order more because I'm almost out. But
yeah, I remember when they were trying to come up with our name for our expansion team before the Wild hit.
Rain City, I could tell you that.
No,
it's another kind of city, but
it would have been like Frozen Yoopers.
Other kind of rain, maybe.
No, but that's Michigan.
What?
The Frozen Yoopers. That should be that should be like North Michigan team.
Okay, wait. So the
mosquitoes actually be where we're gonna be. We're put up there as a team.
Mosquitoes? Oh no! Don't be mosquitoes.
Yeah. Mosquitoes
that's malaria.
That's not bad. Cool. We're gonna give you malaria and win the game.
It's literally not cool.
No, if you ever been to Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, you know.
Mosquitoes are prominent.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes are very fucking prominent here.
I'm looking at this Minnesota Wild logo. I'm not impressed. It's not the worst by any means, but like it's not anything amazing.
What do you guys?
Well, when you look at it, it incorporates a lot of Minnesota in it.
Hockey, bud.
There's not even a single lake in this logo.
It's just bears.
That's because it's got the Mississippi River in it. That's why. Which is where the Mississippi starts. And yeah, it's hockey. And Mississippi starts in Minnesota. So
those are the bears that are in Minnesota. They need a little bit less fearsome head, smaller mouth, and like a garbage.
Yeah, I was like, what is this, a bobcat? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, we have bobcats. There's lynx. There's all sorts of
bears, but they're like dogs.
Mountain lions.
Y'all got tigers?
No tigers.
Yeah, there actually are tigers that are running around because
there's more tigers in Texas than there are.
No, because some dumbass had a wildcat sanctuary up here, and some dumbass went out there and let it out loose.
Well, I guarantee that.
And they were not all caught.
Yeah,
there's
tigers
actually they probably didn't survive, but it was never caught.
That's ridiculous.
There's some animals out there that got to eat tiger.
That's right.
It'll never be the same. Never.
No, what's really prevalent here is the Timberwolves.
You are crazy.
The Timberwolves are really what we're really known for, but that's already a basketball team. So,
LB, was there any other like reasonable Eve events over the week?
There's some Abyssal Proving Grounds events that are tied into the Winter Nexus fucking thing. Right now it's 2v2 assault frigates. Okay. And then there's hold on, let me pull up the
one of the coolest things that happened in this patch, and it got blown over because of the stupid mining shit and everything else, was actually the Corp training whatchamacallit, maps that you can put. Skill plans. Yeah, the Corp training plans
for new bro,
which is just as cool as the Corp bookmarks, So
yeah,
I mean, they could have done that as a huge patch and just like, here you go, and made something huge out of it. But
I don't know about huge, but I mean, it's certainly not to be like slept on. I think all the new player experience and new brew initiatives have been pretty on the mark lately, and like you said, it ties in well with like Corp bookmarks and stuff like that, where you can better organize your shit. But we got a little tiger coming in hot.
Okay, so I just went on and played with the Corp skill plan.
You should play with yourself?
No, with the Corp skill plan. And I dragged
that's
I dragged my Cerberus fitting into it, and then there it's there. It's ready to go. 119
Yeah, which
days,
is really
5
cool.
hours, from 0 to hero.
Yeah, which is really cool. So like if you have a fit and you want people to get into it, you just drag it over, boom, done, and you can save it, and it's really cool. So like ship doctrines for alliances or corporations or whatever, coalition, whatever, you can just drag it in there and say, okay, train this, got upcoming stuff or whatever. You can say, hey, do this, and there you go. So it's not just for new bros. I mean, it'll work really cool for stuff, and it's, again, it's such a cool feature that, again, CCP and their messaging, just, they could have done something really cool with this. So our alliance, CEO Carneros, he recommended to CCP that they could, who was once in charge of marketing, their marketing department back in the day. He said, like, if he was in charge now, he would roll, this whole thing out in like 2 different patches. Like he would have done, the
Like
buffs
mining
to
industry
the,
changes.
well, he would have done the mining stuff in like 2 parts, like buff the belts first, right? And then also do give these, these skill plans in there, and then also do some of the some really cool marketing promos or whatever, and then come out the next month with the actual balance changes, right? And do that, and with some more promos, and it would have probably smoothed over a lot better with the players, than how they just did all this stuff, which was just throw everything at the wall, and with as screwed up as it is, and just, hey, take it as leave it,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Is, of course, if you sell it better with videos and this, that, and the other, it might go over better. If you roll it out in 2 stages like that, so you did the, the doubling of everything, and then the next stage you did basically what they did do, which was, I think, they dumbed down the Rorqual a little bit and modified some other things. I feel like it would have been pointed out and loudly yelled about, just like anything else, where they're like, oh, you set us up, you tried to raise our hopes so that you could, sneak this in or whatever. People are going to be pissed off either way.
Well, the Oracle's not really not that dumbed out, though, because I mean, you look at, they gave a huge buff to the actual bonuses to the Rorqual. I mean, the Rorqual was hugely buffed, and then the changes that they did to the mining stuff. There's a lot of big buffs that they gave. Yeah, I mean, but people would like the, people with the porpoises. They were like, why can't my bay be bigger? Because then everybody would be sitting in that, and instead of using mining frigates. You know what I mean? And again, then people are going to use what's the biggest thing out there, instead of using the situational boats, or just using it for situational, which is what they were trying to get to. So, I mean, going back to why did they do it and what was the purposes for it? Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to the messaging, like using the term waste. They should have found a way better word and then used it throughout their whole messaging, that one word, instead of using waste. Because we look at waste, you're either wasting my time or we're wasting the product, right? Which is still wasting my time.
Real quick, I don't know how prominent anybody else is on Reddit or how much they read it or whatever day to day. I feel like early on, I want to say it was a goon. I think it was Angry Mustache who put this thread out, and it was basically like, here's how you should have sold waste. And it was just like an alternate perspective on it. It was like, you mine at whatever level you wanted to dumb us down to, rework all the things and put us to this level. And instead of waste, put us at the worst possible level. And instead of waste, you have like a lucky hit or whatever. So every once in a while we get a slightly better than average, but most of the time we're operating somewhere around here. So there's no expectation of like, things could get terrible. You already put us wherever you want us to be, math wise, economy wise, however they're factoring all these things, you're figuring out based on the metrics. But every once in a while you get a little, hey, you got a little, the attaboy, and that it's
land
just
a wrecking shot.
Exactly. It's
right,
just
exactly.
It's just turning the equation a little bit, and it's basically the same thing, but you could have sold it so much better with like this little tweak.
Right.
I remember reading that and be like, holy fuck, like it's so simple. You so easily could have done this.
Right, exactly. Because you already had us down at the rock bottom, right? And so now you're going to give us all these, give us all this stuff back, and then you're going to take away from it again. So you're giving us all this, and then you're giving us this term waste. So then now we're going backwards. You know what I mean? Going 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and it's like, well, what the f,
We touched on it earlier. So whether you call it waste, whether you call it residue, whatever, a lot of people like to make projections in this game. You're either building spreadsheets, you're trying to, build a tool for your corp or your alliance or the greater public. A lot of people do a lot of back end work for this game. And that was, I was going to make a point about it earlier that, it's amazing how CCP has coasted so long on player made tools and things like that.
Right. Yep.
But when you throw stuff like this in, it makes it that much harder to do projections and make tools and things like that, where people just want to know a baseline of what X, Y, or Z will do. So you can kind of plan your jobs, plan your industry, plan projects, plan group projects, plan taking over the economy, being a kingpin, whatever. It scales infinitely. But I feel like when they did it this way, it made it a little bit harder to project. And again, it was a marketing misstep. It would have been so easy to just sell it as something different, a little bit of different perspective on it, and people would have been able to project on the baseline, kind of like with moons. With moons, you expect they're going to show up with this amount of ore every fracture. It tells you when you set the drill, when you fracture, whatever. But there's also the chance of like the lucky strike or like, the jackpot.
Yep,
or
exactly. Yep.
And so it's like, it could always be this, and you can set your numbers on this and you can make all your plans on this, but it could always be better than this. But if you make it where it could always go worse than this, and it's not a static amount where you can actually build projections or algorithms around or whatever, smarter people than myself do, it's very counter to everything else that we've been doing for fucking 18 years.
Well, and industrialists min-max, right? That's what they do. They min-max everything, right? Min-max, right? And it's hard to get them out of that mindset, to not min-max, especially when you're also looking at risk versus reward. And what they've done over the last 3 years, with scarcity, with blackout, with all the things that they've been hitting the industry with, it's hard to trust them, especially with this kind of messaging, right? And the way they rolled this out, it's like, is this going to drag the people that have quit the game back into the game? No, and the people that are in the game right now are still frustrated, going, "What the f? What's going on here, man? What the crap, So it's like, come on, and so people are going to figure this out. They're going to get it straight. And then they have to set the messaging back for the people that left the game and go, okay, it's really not this bad. Or, hey, this is what we've done. We've run our own thing. And then they have to do like every other time a patch comes out, they have to, it will be the players that will save the game again, or, and, bring back, put it out on, whether it goes on EveWiki or whatever, put videos out or do the podcast like this and explain to everybody, okay, well, this is what CCP actually did, so. But yeah, we've had guys out on the belts, playing with every kind of setup, working with every mining crystal, with every mining stuff, and one of the easiest things to do, get the ore faction miners, because you don't have
miners?
Yep, the ore strip miners, the deep cores, all that stuff, because they're expensive, but you don't have to mess with crystals. You don't have to, there's no wastage. And
there's no waste with ore miners?
There's none. Absolutely no wastage with the ore miners.
Is that the same case for the T1 strips? Is that what y'all were saying earlier?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
T1 strips and ore, they don't have any waste.
Okay. So even T2 with the best crystals, there is some waste, but is it over time, would it be worse or better than the T1s?
So Well, what RC or not RC, what Don Ray was saying earlier is that so if you go with the T1 and all that stuff, you get technically more ore out of each belt. But she was saying that the amount with T1s she ran, like, so after 3 hours, she got X amount. And she got like less than that, or no, she got way more than that in 1 hour out of the T2s. So she had more waste or residue. So if you're not worried about the amount you're getting per belt, if you have enough belts that you're going to run for the day, that you're not worried about
if your cup runs over.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, if you're not worried about, like, you know, if you're going to, like, mine the entire region out or the entire constellation out completely dry, then maybe you want to go with more of an efficient method so you don't waste as much, so that you can get more numbers.
So, like, if you have a system, but if you have a system that has, like, let's say, like 6 belts, you know that those 6 belts can only respawn twice in a day, right? So if you mine them all out twice in a day, and you're struggling, you know, for that system, let's say you're a renter and you have certain systems you can mine in, you might want to use the T1s, because you want to have the precision.
Yeah, you get more output.
You get, because you're not going to have any
ore. But
you're going to get more overall ore over time,
but
because you're not going to have any wastage.
Yeah, but what she was saying was, like, with the T2 strip miners, with the better crystals, there's more waste to residue, but you just get so much more volume per time that if you're not limited on belts, if you can, like, mine your system out, go to another system, mine that out, go to another system, mine that out, and you're not worried about running out of shit to mine, then it's way more better to use the T2 shit, because yes, there's more residue, but you get so much more volume that it's just better.
So, like with anoms, that's fine. 15 minutes to an hour or whatever afterwards, right? Then you can just mine the anoms that way, right? So mine your anoms out. You could use the T2s because you're going to be blitzing those, right? And you mine everything all out. Especially if you got a group of guys, you could rip through those pretty quickly, and you know that they're going to be spawning back, respawning because of the anom belts. Because those are coming back versus the regular belts, right? The regular system belts.
Yeah. So, like, her thing is, like, if you're going for ore per hour, you want to use the T2 shit. If you're going for, I don't want to waste anything out of this belt or the moons because I need the max amount of end product, regardless of how much time it takes, then you want to use the T1.
That seems really crazy to me, because groups who can just blob the shit out of things and locust them up should be able to just
If you're going to locust it, I feel like the T1s are better because you're going to get more overall end product. If you are not worried about locusting it and you know that you have more than enough belt for your time and you're going to, like, probably quit mining before the belts are all gone, T2 shit. T2 that shit, because you can get more overall ore per hour.
So, like, on our 16s and 8s and 4s that we have on it, because they put so many more rocks in there, to mine, people were putting T2s on because it was like, oh my god, otherwise they were never going to finish their moon pulls, especially on a 30-day pull. It was like, holy shit, and it was like, okay, put T2s on, just scarf that shit up, because otherwise we're never going to get this thing done, right? But on the 32s and 64s, especially if you're going to have, Alliance Locust fleets or that kind of stuff, everybody's going to be out there. You want everybody with T1s. And the cool thing is, with the graphics, there's a difference. You could see a difference. You could tell if somebody's using T1s and T2s, because with T2s, there's actually sparks that come off the rocks. So you could tell, you could call somebody out if they're using
name and shame.
T2.
That's
name and shame.
I've seen a few pictures of
the
new mining animations, and they look really good.
Why does it have to be so complicated?
I have a quick qualm. I've used 3 different lasers so far. One is the exceptional moon, which is like a yellowish golden color, and the laser is a yellowish gold. One is the uncommon moon, which is the 3rd grade. That's number 5 and number 3. And I want to say that one was purplish. And then the middle one of those, which is rare, the crystal is red, but the laser is like a cyan turquoise. And then the common crystal is a cyan turquoise color. And I'm like, what the fuck? Can you please just keep laser colors related to what their crystal looks like? I think that's a really low-end request.
Is it that complicated, Redline?
It just seems so complicated.
How much do you mine, Redline?
None.
Okay, well then
it is complicated. It is
complicated,
and that's why we're trying to.
It's shooting lasers at rocks, dude. Why is it hard?
Because CCP makes it hard. They made it convoluted. CCP made it so convoluted. It's insane.
Everything about this game is hard and convoluted. There's no simple gameplay in this game.
There are aspects that are fairly straightforward, though, and I think they did just throw
aspects are straightforward, but then you throw in another mechanic and another mechanic and another mechanic, and then you throw in a fitting, and then now you're like 8 levels deep in the fucking complexity.
This one got a little bit more convoluted, but at the same time, this is one of the most AFK-able activities, and I will lobby against myself here because I'm like, look, I do this on a regular basis. It's not going to break my heart if I have to
the Type C crystals
or something, but that's not what it was. It actually was just changing up the equipment.
And these Type C crystals that they're going to try, did they really think that people are going to PvP with these Type C crystals? I mean, do they really think?
I actually wanted to touch on that. The offensive crystals.
Yeah, the offensive crystals.
The idea of that seems pretty far-fetched. I do see the merit in when people were talking about clearing out anomalies, which is something I don't do. But you mine whatever the good stuff is out of your anomaly and you want to get rid of it so you can respawn it. I could see using the faster, less efficient crystals.
What are you talking about?
You just
Type C is probably the highest waste but highest yield.
Yeah,
so you use those to clear out.
No, there's no yield. It's very low yield. There's no yield, hardly any yield to it, and it's high. It's high waste.
Oh, so
it's literally
crash the belt then.
You're just literally So you can literally.
So I wonder if that's for
the idea is
if you're wanting the high ends, use the lower end crystals for the high ends, and then you just use the type C for bar and shit like that, to where just clear the garbage out and then use efficient stuff for the high ends just to clear the belt faster and respawn if you're after the higher ores.
You could do that
to where it's it's like precision, use the good stuff on the high ores, and then we don't care about Veldspar or Peroxy or whatever that shit. Just get that shit gone, so mine it and waste it as fast as possible.
Well, are they thinking because Alliance and coalitions use rules like the Dark Ochre rule from back in the day, or now the Mercoxit rule? I mean, everybody's using the Mercoxit rule right now, right?
Yeah, so
you can't mine Mercoxit with these crystals because Mercoxit is still its own skill.
Yep. Right, but I'm saying is because of Mercoxit, and because right now Mercoxit's super high end and there's a bottleneck on it, so everybody's bum rushing to get to Mercoxit, but everything has to be mined out beforehand. That's the rule now. A lot of big power blocks are used
for goons.
Yeah, for goods. You have to mine everything out first, and then
Albie, tell us.
Okay, so here's a scenario. You're in HiSec. You're in one of these groups, code, safety, whatever it is. There's a mining fleet on field, but they're pretty well organized. But it's still a mining fleet. So you grab a Hulk, a skiff, procure, whatever. You put a Type C crystal on, you show up in the belt, and you start smashing rocks. I don't know if they're still having it, but there was supposed to be a suspect timer associated to Type C crystals. Did they bring that?
Really? So
I do remember reading a little bit about that. Yeah,
right.
It would flag
you should get a suspect flag for mining with a Type C crystal in HiSec. In HiSec.
Weird.
So, what's the mining fleet's reaction? Because HiSec PvP rules are so fucking convoluted, they pull in their mining drones, they launch their hobgoblins, they attack your frigate or your mining barge or whatever the fuck you're in.
Now you get combat timer.
Now you have a PvP timer with that mining fleet.
Come back in a ship and blow them all up.
100%.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Counterplay for sure.
Get in a fucking Drekavac, come back, melt the Orca, and start melting mining barges.
If the Orca sends drones, then they're silly. If they're gonna test that mechanic, do it in the mining barges themselves. Don't do it in the fucking Orca. Orca should never attack shit in HiSec.
But that's the thing is, up until recently,
anyone with an Orca in HiSec.
Yeah, I think camp flipping is back.
I don't know how much it changed, but up until recently, the Orca had really good drone bonuses, so that was you could leave your mining drones out with everybody else,
drone bonuses.
And the Orca could handle things.
Well, especially now with the new industrial core, you can get a 900 DPS
if you fit it that
Orca.
Way. If you fit it that way. But if you don't fit it that way, if you fit it for straight mining, you're not going to have the DPS that you should have if you were a battle Orca, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to plan balance and things around HiSec, whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, I know that that's a big influence on.
I mean, throw a mobile depot on, maybe you can refit.
It'd be very difficult. You have to keep your timer off, and while people are landing on you and starting to do all the things.
But besides that, I don't really see anybody using it in nullsec on like high
offensive mining
like
seems like a joke.
Like, so what you're saying is you'd have to chase the owners of that moon away. The moon would pop, and then you would bring in a mining fleet behind your PvP fleet to scrape away all their rocks.
Yeah,
I don't retain some extra value somewhere. Which on like the very forefront of it, I could see like some large groups being like, we could weaponize this in a silly way for a little bit because I don't
maybe in wormholes is there. Maybe you could do it in wormholes, if you had a hole next to somebody else's hole.
Wouldn't that mining fleet with offensive crystals in it, wouldn't that be better suited? Like, why don't you guys just get in PvP ships?
Ships, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Fucking Athanor and reinforce the Athanor and destroy it, and then if you have put your own up and have your own mine.
If you have that level of like influence, then you would just own the thing. You wouldn't have to waste,
because you're not if you're thinking you're going to use that to try to hurt them financially. I don't see that happening. Yeah, I just
when I saw it kind of spelled out, the only way I can see it is people, which I don't do regular ore mining, but the only way I can see it is people clearing out the garbage ore to respawn ore belts. I can't see any realistic, outside of like a month or two of just like, hey, let's troll people. I can't see any realistic use of people offensively mining.
Well, and I think it might have been just people in the coalitions and stuff, complaining to CCP because, of the bottlenecks and because of what coalitions were doing with the Dark Ochre rules from in the past, or this where we have to clear all this out.
Behead, Behead Razdiff? Behead Razdiff? Explain to me how you are going to use these in nullsec, because I'm interested now.
I would have loved to seen siphons become a new thing. Like if we're going to punish people offensively with mining, like change siphons into a new thing.
Yeah, siphons never really worked.
Siphons did work on POSs.
But
still a lot of.
If you had a good alliance or you had a good group, they were figuring it out. Because
but that's
people
the thing
would.
Is if that's in your like sphere of influence, then it's hard to siphon. You can protect that, you can pop that, whatever. If you are groups that hold moons X, Y, and Z all over the place back in the old days of POSs and passive moons, which a lot of the upper echelon groups advocate for, but I'm like, no, look, I lived during all those eras, and people had shit way outside their normal sphere of influence, and you would punish them with things like siphons. People had to basically build alts to dedicate to guarding all their moons to gun them to deal with siphons. And it's like, well, hell,
but that was nothing. I mean, you can just you just put a sub in, or on your thing and just train them up just to do enough to do.
If I force my enemy to create a new sub to deal with me, that's still a win in my book. And I did, at least during siphoning with stealing PL Mungu.
I fucking loved siphoning days.
It was very silly and exciting.
Making more money to do that, and then everyone did it. It's like, oh shit. More people. Shit, everyone's siphoning our garbage. We have to go fight this now. What, really?
Well, with the API tools, we knew when somebody was siphoning us, and then we would end up killing the siphons, and the people that were that were trying to siphon us ended up losing more money on the siphons than they did trying to get the.
But that didn't stop people from doing it. That didn't stop me. That was the thing. Like all the alliances.
I bought $1 billion ISK worth of siphons. $1 billion ISK, a lot of ISK back then. Yeah. And I fucking launched every one of those fuckers.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like all the big alliances thought that it was like no one's gonna do this because it's gonna cost them more to siphon than what they'll get out of it usually. And so all the big alliances thought no one would do it, and then everyone did it, and everyone lost their asses on it. But the thing is, like, the big alliances were like, what the fuck? People are actually doing this, and we have to actually go defend all this shit day in and day out, like.
Oh, it was annoying.
The one thing that
because it was like every 3 hours there's a fleet to go.
You know what we did? You know what we did as a Bastion, or at the time we were LI3, but what we did at the time is we used that as FC training fleets because we were like, okay, every hour on the hour, we would take, as an FC would take, a handful of people out, then he used it as training, and they would take guys out just to go through all the systems, and scan for the siphons. And it gave the FC a chance to learn how to scan and look for probe stuff, and and they would just go through all.
Killed a lot of my siphons. That's okay.
Yeah, so that was an FC training program for us, and we had an API poll, so we knew exactly where they were. So like if we didn't have an FC out, then we just locked people on into the passes
but first we're starting to defend them at first. You'd send one person out to do it. And I'd sit there cloaked up, waiting for that one person to come assist them and kill them. It didn't take very long to stop.
Watch a bubble before they land in the pasta. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
I will say, so again, I used them to great effect, but it was within a group that was operating on a large scale at the time. It was PL back in the late 2000s or whatever, and they had moons on every fucking corner of the space, and it was like, they're not granted. If I bashed that tower, there would have been a PL fleet of Archons or whatever fucking slow cats, something would have showed up. But if I sat there and stole from them, it may have gone a few hours, and it may have gone a day or two, because it was personal moons at that time. It was high level PL people having their personal moons all over the fucking game. And, they eventually had to make dedicated alts to cover all those fucking moons because, I would set up these siphons and just show up every couple hours and empty them out. And I don't know, it was very engaging for me as a thief.
Try some.
Sure.
You got some.
There was something that engaging in the game now.
Woodford Reserve.
Yeah. I wish there was. I wish there was siphons in the game again. I fucking loved them.
Woodford Reserve, good stuff. Yeah,
well, you have the ESSs. You could try to steal from the ESSs, but it's just a lot harder.
What's it called? Woodford Berserk? What?
Berserker. Yeah, it's
Woodford.
It's called Berserker.
Woodford Reserve.
Reserve. I think you said Berserk.
Yeah. Woody Berserk.
Woody Berserk. That's a new good fucking. That's a good name for an alcohol. What are you drinking? A little Woody Berserk. I like it.
Oaky.
Redline, have you done any ESS stuff?
What Redline do?
That's a no.
What do you do?
No, Redline doesn't do anything.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's indicative that he just didn't speak at all, but he might have stepped away.
He talks on Tuesday,
and then he doesn't play for the next 6 days.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes.
Sorry,
have you done ESS?
I have done that. Of course.
You've stolen it or lost it?
I've been a yoinker.
You're a yoink. You yoinked?
How was that for
you? You've been yoinking?
I like
yoinking.
Dude, you've been yoinking. Tell us about your yoinks.
So do you do the bank or do you do just the ESS?
Just the ESS.
Yeah, there's not a lot of keys out there.
I go, steal the money, and then I get killed by a marauder.
Yep.
That's always the case. I got killed by a marauder.
Yeah,
so
those are the best ones in ESS.
If I go out trying to yoink ESSs 3 times, right? Twice I'm getting killed by a marauder. The other time I'm getting killed by Concord and Jita.
So you have a 0% success rate at that ratio.
Let's just say I have never sold one of those ESS tokens to any person, NPC or otherwise.
But is the content what you're looking for?
That's hilarious. Is the
Absolutely not. I do not want to use my blaster thorax to fight your Vargur at 70. Thank you, though. Appreciate that.
Why are you so far away from it?
Why don't you have
running for my life?
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to escape.
Because you can't You can't micro jump out of there.
Phantasm. You need a microprop or overprop Phantasm for that.
I'm in my blaster thorax there, dude.
No,
you need a small gun.
I'm going 235 cold.
So then let me ask you. Why are you at 70 from the Vargur when he comes in if you're in a blaster thorax?
Because he's already driving away as soon as he sees the Vargur on D-scan.
Why would you?
I already saw the Vargur on D-scan, and I said, "Fuck this," and I'm trying to escape.
You're gonna die, so you're blasters. Get in there, get up under his guns,
and do what?
And tickle him.
And
do a little
tickle him. Hell yeah. I'm all bored fucking tickling.
I've seen a lot of amazing things in this game, and I'm not suggesting that you're gonna pull them off, but if you're gonna die anyway, you're a blaster thorax. Be right.
Were you all by yourself, Redline, or did you have a little?
Absolutely, by myself.
Okay, yeah.
Were you using the
solo woaming?
Were you using like the offhand after you had been like sitting on it for a little while, so it felt like you had somebody else there?
No.
Oh, okay. Well.
Did you use a filament to go, or did you just like?
Yep, I used a filament.
Start off on your trek. Okay, yeah.
And then
we've had varying degrees of success when we do it.
It just depends on where you land, right?
I've seen plenty of success.
Yeah, if you land in the wrong part of frat space, you'll get blobbed by Vargurs and other things.
Apparently, bots.
That too.
200 Munins.
Yeah, all in the ESS. Oh no.
What are the 4 Black Ops battleships?
Oh, wait a second.
There's the Redeemer, the Widow, the Sin,
Panther,
and the Panther.
Panther. Dude, I ended up.
So why is always the Panther? That's fucking ridiculous.
Panthers are awesome.
Near Goon Space with 2 of my friends, and we were all in Praxises. Yep. Goons brought 60 Feroxes to kill 3 Praxi.
Everybody's gonna do that.
What's a Praxis?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Praxi is a multiple of Praxis.
Oh, okay.
It was incredible. I loved it.
The silly idea, and it's very defeatist and discouraging for most people, but it's like the sad reality is like, how do you excuse anybody within your home, right? And as an American, I think many of us will identify terribly with it, but it's like, what right do you have to come in my home and have like any rights? Like, you're in my home now, and now you have to be stomped out. Well, again, it's like I said, Americans will identify easy with that, but I think that's a recurring Eve concept because it's seen in every time zone. It's like you came within my home, you have no rights, you're gonna get stomped the fuck out, and it's sad, and I don't think should be happening, but that's a normal like nullsec response. Sadly,
it's a normal nullsec response, but here's the thing. Another normal nullsec response is just to dock up and let them fucking have it. Not fight them at all, because it's not worth the ISK to go in there and try and grab Redline with his 100 MN Phantasm.
Come on.
Or the 6 other guys who are in there.
He's talking about your Phantasm that doesn't exist.
Well, I'm saying what he should have flown instead of what he does fly.
Exactly.
Of course.
Anyways, so but with the bounty risk modifier in the systems, it pays you to do PvP in the system.
Correct.
So if you discourage people from doing PvP in the system, either by A, docking up and not fighting, or B, turbo blobbing the shit out of them, then you're not going to get paid by the bounty risk modifier because you're not using the mechanics of the game to your advantage. Right?
Quite possibly, sure.
It behooves you when somebody comes in a little tiny gang to try and take some iskies from you, to just like get a fucking bunch of guys together, a couple guys, few guys, an equal number of dudes, throw them in rapid light caracals, yeet them at the fucking dudes in the ESS, and if you win, you win. If you don't,
you don't.
You don't.
You won't.
Well, maybe you do. Maybe you don't.
You won't.
What they probably will do is they'll just burn out of the bubble and fucking leave.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
And I always wonder this anytime we talk about like bring a small group, bring a fair fight. Why? How is it fair to everybody else if they don't get to come and kill shit with you?
There's no such
well,
thing.
That's why
as a
I
fair
said
fight.
that.
There should never be a fair fight.
You can't come into someone's home and ever ask for that, and it's a sad reality in that like people should give like reasonable fights, and certainly it happens all the time. It really does. Because people just like one at a time whelp into shit. You know, like you can have as much fun as you can afford yourself with good piloting and a little bit of like coaxing. But long story short, nobody's deserved a fair fight, and nobody should expect a fair fight, because you can't expect to come in someone's house and then just be like, hey, yeah, this is fine.
Right. No, like, so if somebody came into my house, to steal my actual money and my actual TV and threaten my actual family, yes, I would not bring a fair fight. I would rip his ears off and shove them down his throat. Like, that's the fucking way it is. If somebody came into my house and there was a cookie jar at the front door and he was like, I'm taking this cookie, and I came on oiled up
wanted that
with olive oil and was like, no, we're gonna fucking Greco-Roman wrestle on the front lawn. And we go out there and we wrestle, and then somebody comes by afterwards and gives me $100. Like, that was fun. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Fuck yeah. I'd be fucking, the baby oil would be at the ready. Like, let's do this every night.
You incentivize small gangs PvP?
But they are incentivizing it with the BRM. If you fucking go out and fight people in your space and it's fun, so other people will come and you will have more fights and your BRM will go up. And when you go out ratting the next day, you'll get paid more. Shock.
Well, it's tougher to rat when you're attracting actively people to come BRM you, right? Though.
You get
I guess that is,
but not ever.
Your software is not going to run as smoothly if other small gangs are coming through the fucking system. But like, are you playing the game or are you fucking?
The sad reality, though, with that is the BRM is not very affected by small amounts of people. You actually have to have quite a bit of destruction to affect it.
Yeah,
from what I've seen. So you like people to the extent that people are building like T1 ships and
to make it do one big jump, right?
them more or less.
To make it do one big jump, you need a big fleet fight in that system. Is that what?
Right.
I think even like a decent bit of like repairing it, because in this day and age, in the scarcity era that we live in, apparently, people still want to super rat and this, that, and the other, and even just carrier rat, and you can wreck BRMs apparently, which I don't rat myself, but I've listened to people as they bitch about this, and it's not an easy task to repair those things. And even if people come around in PvP, it's not like we just had some PvP. We attracted content with our
and it doesn't go back up over time. So even if you leave the system alone, it doesn't seem to like go back up over time.
It does.
If it does, it goes back really slow.
That might be the case, but yeah, it does go back over time, as far as I know. But it's not a very rapid thing, and like people have like suicided and sacrificed things to try to build it up, and it's not a very easy translation there. I do agree that like you should encourage that sort of activity, but I don't think it translates like 1-to-1 quite well.
I don't need
the mentality
either. I think I'd watch the shit out of that. No,
yeah. But farms and field, I mean, the mentality is you don't want to be PvPing in your farms and field, because you got basically the people that are out there are candy bars, and then you're attracting fat kids to your candy bars.
Well, that's the thing, is use your sheep to attract the wolves, and then also attack the wolves, because you survive only on sheep.
But some people are can't do both. So
and then
either your candy bars out in the field while your PvP ships it, and sometimes they get caught in between the transition. So not everybody is as smooth, or not everybody's got enough alts or whatever. So
not smooth. You're not
from a strict like equation. That's where your content is, right? Like you catch people making mistakes, and that's where PvP happens.
Right. So it's better off.
Modifier is that you also add an economic modifier via bounty, reward, whatever, or ESS based. I think the ESS is pretty cool change. I think the bounty modifier is probably a little bit off still. I don't think it's far off base, but I think it's not quite as well aligned as it could be. Dialed in, I guess.
Right.
But I mean, it's certainly not a bad mechanic. I do agree with you where like you see, I think LB's correct in that he sees the mentality behind where they were, driving at.
See, for me, I just wish they would do something more with ADMs. So like, if we have ADMs for systems, right? Why can't we have ADMs for constellations? And why can't we have ADMs for regions? Because if you were to get to pre-scarcity levels on stuff, be a, like you have an alliance that can get a constellation to a certain ADM level for a whole constellation and could get buffs, right? Because when you look at where content is, everybody looks at Dotlands or they look in the in-game map and you can see
where activity happens,
where activity is by looking at the ADM and where ships and stuff are being killed, or where the mining is because that the ADMs. So activity is going to come there, and especially if you start doing ADMs on regions or on constellations and regions. So people want to kick over people's sandcastles. So if you start getting ADMs levels up and people are getting those bonuses and stuff's going up, you'll have the activity there. And if they have the activity there, then you're going to have people wanting to kick over that activity, right? Like we don't want them to have that, so let's stop them.
I mean, obviously, I think that was the intention, and like again, I think it just needs a little bit of like dialing in, right? Like they've got some pretty interesting mechanics in place now. I think the ESS mechanic is fairly cool. I like the old ESS better because you got the LP out of it and whatever you can.
Right, but the ESS feels like something that they put into the game. Nobody used it because it was a drama llama. So hey, we liked it. The devs liked it, so we're gonna put it in the game and we're gonna force it on you, right? So take it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I disagree on the ESS. I think there's not a lot of downsides to either the current or the former ESS. The former ESS were broken in a fair few ways, but like they had cool aspects to them. And the current one, in my opinion, is either defend or you just handle.
Yeah, but they would have created drama in the system if people weren't watching them, people who weren't guarding them, if people didn't cash them out, and you had people coming around stealing from them, and they were a lot easier to
drama. That's content in its own right? Like,
if
people want to bitch about it,
but again, power blocks again would set up rules again to, hey, don't put this down unless these conditions are made, or they set certain systems aside where you could put ESSs down, right?
I mean, that sounds like local freedoms.
But I'm saying, but it is what it is,
I didn't vote for
and so. Right, but again, when you look at
the game,
right? But you look at, like, let's say with the Imperium or whatever, and why the Imperium can do what it can do is because some of these rules, right? Some of the things, the organizational levels that we have, and some of the things that we look at because of the drama llamas, certain things that you look at, you go, well, if we avoid some of this stuff, some of these pitfalls, and the other people are falling into, we don't have to worry about that. But yet it gets forced onto us anyways, and the ESS was one of those.
I guess I don't know fully how to respond. I think most of the ESS changes have been fairly positive. I think the old way was, I could see the creation of drama as far as it would nerf your ticks initially, and then it would eventually buff your ticks and also give you LP. But there was a scale to it, and so if you didn't work it up, then it was just floating. Or
right, but also too, if people weren't watching them,
correct, they could get stolen. But at the same time, if you don't defend it, that's how it is. You leave,
right. But if you never threw them down, you didn't have to worry about it.
So and that's very fair. Again, it was a scale, right? You could either decide that we could use this in a useful system that's very active, and we could scale things up, and we could make more money than we would have made before, as well as LP. But if people are not monitoring it, then it's it's going to be robbed. It's useless essentially, or it's even a liability in a lot of cases.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. You avoid the drama,
but see here
and the strife that it occurs. So now they put it in every system. So now you don't even have the choice for that, nor do you have the LP bonus from it anymore. Right. So it's,
but I think it's I would agree that I would debate that it is a positive change in the sense that it puts the same risk across the board, that if you want to crab in any particular system, you have to put some skin in the fight if you want to defend the little bit that it siphons off. And I think that is a good thing in that, LB and I were talking about earlier. He was a jump away from me. I was in a ship. I was doing things that were not wanting to be interacted with at all.
Yeah, but what if I didn't want the bonus? I didn't want the bonus, and I didn't have to worry about it being stolen. See what I'm saying?
I mean,
because because now it creates that extra. Well, I didn't really need that. I didn't want the bonus, so therefore I didn't. It's an risk versus reward thing. The rest of the stuff in the game is like, well, if I don't want to go to here, and I don't have to have that risk versus reward. You see what I'm saying? Now they forced it.
I guess
into
where
the
I would
system.
counter that with is that you're in nullsec. You're literally in a space that is only as safe as you make it.
Right, but beforehand
so
it wasn't. There was an option, but they put it on us.
But that's the thing is you're in the on paper least lawful space. That's not the case in a various handful of ways, but you're in the least lawful space, and it is only as safe as you can create it to be, or you choose it to be in your local response.
Right.
Whether it was the way it was before or not, you want to, let's say, just crab in a system, and you want to just sit there and crab away, but you're in the least lawful space on paper. So if you want to retain whatever percentage they saved for you or set aside for you, you have to put some skin in the fight at some point. If you were in high sec, that's not the case. If you're in low sec, I don't think it's quite the case. I don't know how it scales, if it does at all, or if there's ESSs.
Yeah, but it was it was a feature that they built that nobody was using, that a lot of people weren't using, and so they go, well, we're going to put it in there for you because we thought it was cool, and now you're going to make it permanent, and so what was an option before is not an option now because they thought it was cool.
So I am an 100% nullsecker. I don't go into low sec or high sec. I do a little bit of high sec, just legit.
Right. I mean, I've been out in nullsec since 2009.
Here's where I will advocate against my own interests in that respect. I don't think that nullsec should be. We can just sit there and Ishtar rat for hours on end, and all the money is in the bank, and it's as easy as it is. And when LB enters my local and I safe up on my structure, that was it. All the money's safe, and I did all my work, and I'm unaffected. He could have, because he came in local, and I wasn't watching intel close enough.
Like, if
he
you
got one jump away from
and they steal your ESS, then they steal a portion of
your and I could defend that.
That's what he's saying.
I don't have to, but I could defend that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you were saying, like, it's safe. It's not safe. It's only safe if you're willing to defend it. If you don't defend it,
he's saying without the ESS, that's how it was. Was that all the money was safe because you weren't putting it anywhere?
Nullsec has been widely considered
but there was no bonus either.
High sec for years because there was no thing out. If your intel was solid enough, which most large groups is.
Right.
Nullsec is a safer space than high.
There was just nothing out there for them to shoot. That's why there was nothing. There was nothing
for people. There's all of us out there making those fucking ticks that nobody's coming out to steal.
Right.
And when they come around, we disappear.
They were just bored because they were going. They were bored because they were going 70 ticks not to get anything. That's what they were.
And now we have to leave our ticks there or defend them and retain them.
Right. So. I don't know. I feel like that's a system where it's like, if you want to keep your extra money, then you have to defend it. If you don't defend your extra money, then you lose it.
Right. Nullsec should never have been as safe as it was, and now that you have to put a little bit of skin in the fight. Like, I mean, you can go and defend it, or you can just let them walk away with it. It was already out of your wallet.
If you don't put
it
skin
wasn't
in the fight, then you have the potential to lose some profit.
Right.
If you do put skin in the fight, well, then you defend your profit and maybe get a good fight out of it and kill. And then the people that came to steal your shit, they thought they were gonna make some money and they lost a shitload of money. Or
you lose and you still lose money.
Right. So it that was
either way. It's like
right.
I'm fine with the ESS stuff.
I think the ESS stuff is 100% a good change, and that I guess I'm also arguing for that.
I mean,
but with the module, they could have just left. They could have just left it with the module, though.
I mean, but that's the thing is, I don't know that leaving it as a choice was any better overall.
The module, I think, though,
nullsec has been too safe for a long time, and I live in nullsec.
There was definitely people that hated the module. Like, I remember when I was back when they had a deployable thing. Most people used it because, well, overall you get more money, unless you get roamed on randomly. But There was people like, don't fucking put, I hate the ESS. Don't put that shit up. It's like, well, fuck you. So it gets rid of that whole like dichotomy of like people in their own systems where they have a conflict where it's like, 2/3 of the people want to use the module, 1/3 of the people hate the module. It's like, well, what do you do?
Right. There was certain systems that you would say, okay, we'll put it in these systems.
Or now it's just like, everyone has an ESS. Doesn't fucking matter. You have an ESS. Like it or not, you got it. And so now it comes down to the thing of like, if you don't want to defend it, you have a chance. If you're just there to rat and you dock up when people show up, you might lose a portion of your profits. If you're not willing to defend your shit, then people come steal your shit.
But it was never in your wallet. And it's in my mind, it's like this mining mechanic, right?
Yeah, but if people come to like take your shit and you're like, oh no, you fucking don't.
But we have structures. If they want to come out and shoot something, shoot my structure. They don't. Why should they get just free ISK for going out there?
Why do they have to?
It's only free ISK if you're not willing to defend it. That's the thing.
Well, that's what I mean. Right. Why are they just getting my money in this bank? Why is it going there? And what's the whole thing?
Because if they did, you would sit there and orbit havens for 12 hours straight, and every 3 hours you would warp away, and nothing would ever change any status quo.
You got to buy your
and that was the reality for the last.
I think they should sell it, and then you get profit, right? So you can't.
Well, then make it into something that they have to shoot and actually bust it out of there.
They go there and they put themselves in a fucking bubble that's 75 radius. I think it's 150 kilometers wide, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They tackle themselves. They go in there, and I'm not defending the attackers because I only ever am in my own space. Like,
I've been there to defend our ESS, so yeah, I get it.
But here's the thing. Yeah. 3 years ago, last year even, for the last 10 years, you go out and you orbit a haven in your VNI, in your Ishtar, and you just make ticks. That's all you do. You just make ticks all day, as long as you want to. And if somebody comes around, you warp off, and you're safe. It's fine. If you're at the wheel or, a bot or whatever.
Beep boop.
And sometimes you want to throw up an ESS because you're like, hey, I plan on being here for 6, 8, 12 hours, whatever the fuck you decided, maybe 2, who knows, whatever, as long as I want to keep my ESS up. And I want to bonus my ISK. That used to be a thing, and I agree, that used to be a choice, and some places would rationalize and some places wouldn't. But everywhere, you had an Ishtar that would orbit a haven and warp right the fuck off when somebody came. Everywhere in null set.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you want to sit there and orbit, you can do the same thing. But a little bit of your money is out there, and it's not your money yet. It's not your money until 3 hours have passed at any whatever level you started at. You may have started with an hour left, and in an hour you'll get your money. But it's not your money yet. It's just money that's set aside because you're doing the thing that is mostly safe. And if somebody comes and they say, hey, I noticed you were doing the thing, I'm going to take a little bit of that. You could either swap ships and go stop them or try to stop them, or you can't, or you decide not to, and then the money's gone. Like, I think that's a completely healthy mechanic. I think that is a really good way to have people getting out in space, people either hunting or people defending or people, kitchen sinking or onesie twosie, into a bunch of kiters from wormhole space, whatever. It's wholly content creation. But I think there's no downsides in my mind. I hate to say it. The dynamic bounty modifier, I see quite a few flaws. It's not where it needs to be. The ESS, I think it was really good to go, and I think if they rolled it out by itself, I can vouch for like every part of the mechanic. I think they're all healthy enough. I think they're good changes.
Do you think the bounty risk modifier needs to be more sensitive to PvP?
I'm not exactly sure how to tweak it. That's my downside with it, is that I have never played it, but I have seen people suicide ships for it, like sacrifice ships for it, which is silly. And I knew, people talked about it before it ever rolled out. They were like, so what are we going to need to do to game that?
Work?
It doesn't wholly, which I will give CCP credit for, is that you can't easily game it from what I can tell so far. I'm not in frat or anything. I don't know how, weaponized you can do in large groups, but people have played with it a little bit, but I don't think it's as good as it could be as far as swaying back and forth with.
Basically the only thing we've been able to do is just not rat the system for a while and let it go back up. That's the only thing we've been able to do, because it's, even if we don't get the people coming down the pipe, or we don't get the people that come in, you just don't get the gangs, right? It just takes forever.
Recurring opinion is that you were going to like set up schedules or rotas and
and that's all we can do is rotate people out.
This system, and then rotate through. And if you get battles, maybe it would change it. But from what I've seen, skirmishes don't have like a great effect.
No,
because if they did, people would just suicide like 5-10 ships. They would log on their neutral alt and they would suicide the 5 or 10 ships, and it would all be fixed, right? So I agree with them on that in that it's not easily gameable from what I've seen, but it's not a great mechanic at also.
I think it just needs to be removed until they figure something
like the ESS out. I agree with. You rat, it's mostly safe. You have intel in nullsec. There's a lot of just brokenness.
I mean, you've got filaments there going on, or you got wormholes. I mean, there's an abundance of wormholes now. I mean, we're constantly trying to roll those.
It's luxurious enough.
Right. You don't need the BRM right now thing. You don't need that right now. You could take that out and still have enough content out there that's going on. Because you do have the wormholes are rolling, because we're constantly, every hour and the hour we have to go through our systems, looking for the wormholes that have spawned, because there's 2-3 that have spawned everywhere, so you've got the wormholes that are spawning, you've got the filaments that are coming in. If there's activity in the system, you're going to get filaments. I mean, we've seen that over and over and over again. Maybe they just need to, if they needed to, they can even bump up the activity with the filaments, if they needed to.
Mr. Floppy Knickers is correct. I am a Care Bear miner.
I spend more time mining than I would prefer. I like to PvP,
you too,
but I don't do it.
I spend way more time mining than I prefer mining.
So we've already discussed that these players are min-max. They min-max everything, right? And before ESS, the min-max was orbit the Haven in your VNI, make dank ticks, dock up when reds come in system.
Right.
And now with the BRM and the ESS, min-max is not controllable by the player. It's controllable by other factors. Other factors are going to play into it, right?
It's affectable anyway.
It's affectable by other players.
Sure.
So isn't that what the company wants us to do, though? They want us to interact with other players.
Like I said, I think they do, and I think it is. Like I think the ESS, at least by itself, is a really good change because of that. Like,
but if they made literally,
you can give up just like you always did for the last 10 years. You can dock right up, and it would have been the same thing you did last year, 9 years ago. You ran away because PvPers came in local. Now instead of the choice,
are we saying about ADMs, Pukin?
Sorry,
but I'm saying if you do ADMs too, that'll attract as well. And you could give the bonuses.
As a
or other
dude,
stuff.
I don't give a shit about your ADMs.
Like, you're looking for people out in space.
I'm not there to solve one. I'm not there to ref structures. I'm there for fucking.
No, but I mean, but you're going to
give me a good time. I'm going to take your money. That's the incentive right there, right?
Right. He doesn't want to conquer your space. ADM is only for the security of your space.
For just the single system ones, yes. But I'm saying if you do because once you do that, right, and you get your ADMs up, and if you're doing it for a constellation, then you get different bonuses. Not necessarily for the ADMs, it'd be not defense modifiers. You could call it something else, but I'm just using ADM as a word, whatever, to show that if you did something for the constellation and then for the region. So that would also, the other benefits of that is you got, somebody, let's say, for Goons End, right? They're more landlocked to a more one area, trying to hold that. It makes it for smaller groups.
Are you fucking with me right now?
So that, the reason why it allows for smaller groups to also try to bust out and don't have to wouldn't be able to have to sell their soul into rental or into a power block if you did that. Because then if you did the ADMs for constellations and that, because then you would have groups working to it.
I do think ADMs should be more directly indicative of activity, but they are actually not terribly far off the mark. Like, they're pretty well pegged at the moment. You rat to get your military one up, you mine to get your industry one up. If people don't show up in a system, which is prominent throughout, I'm going to roughly say 60 to 70% of nullsec, like, your ADMs are modest or low. Like if you were a focused force and you wanted to like, just show up and throw your dick around, it's still very much a thing. Now, granted, big blocks, that's a whole nother subject in that even though I don't sit there and farm X, Y, and Z system all the time, big blocks will gloss over that. That's diplomacy, and that's its whole, mechanically, that's a whole different ball of wax. But overall, the game itself and in the mechanics does do pretty well with, if you don't use this space, it's very easy to flip or conquer. I think they have done very well with that.
Well, I mean, because even with the last war and stuff, it makes it very hard to flip and roll systems when you're keeping ADMs up. You get plenty of times.
If you use the systems, then they're defendable.
Right, but it's really easy to go out there and keep ADMs up with T1 boats, flipping ore and just mining and dumping, and they're going to make it even easier now with crushing rock, even though you're throwing it not using C's, but using T2 crystals. You're still going to be able to rip that huge amount of ore real fast. You're going to be able to keep your ADMs up, and we do that. With the Bastion and in our coalition, we go around and have ADM fleets to keep our levels up. We did it in the last war, and we did it in Esoteria as well. The Bastion did. That's how we were able to maintain our space over there during the war.
I mean, and coming from the other side of the war, I would venture to say that is working as intended. If it was wanted bad enough, if you wanted to do it, you need to put boots in space. You need to cloaky camp, drop on, do all the things to remove people from ever being able to be effective while they're trying to do those ADM maintaining activities, and that's how you would do space denial at that scale.
But ADM fleets can be done in T1 boats.
That's fine. I don't care if there's value in my PvP. Because if I'm trying to deny you of space, we need to be hazing everything that shows up in space.
Right, but I mean, it's so easy to keep the ADMs up with just T1 stuff, and whether you get jumped on or not, or you get a dunk fleet, you can just go right back out a few hours later and keep those ADMs up, and it's going to be almost impossible. Like if you really want to keep
ADMs, you're probably right, because you guys won and we lost.
I'm not saying that, because I'm telling you.
I actually agree. Now that I say it, I'll defend my side.
Nobody won in that war. Both sides lost a fuck ton. But to drag it out that long was because people were able to keep the ADMs up. But Mittani said this. It's been a thought process that was really hard to get through our coalition leadership, through even our alliance leadership, was ADMs, right? And it wasn't until like this last war when our alliance leadership was trying to hold space in Esoteria, and they kept losing some space. And they're like, fuck, we really need our PvEers and our industrial guys to really get out here and help with ADMs, right? The industrialists are just used to like going out there and running the ADM fleets and keeping everything, themselves, or just doing it. Who's now had all their stuff sitting at parking lots waiting for, either the war to end or, a safe place to operate. We're like, I don't want to just go out there and set up and do ADMs, right? Because that's retarded. So like a lot of PvPers were trying to do just PvE or trying to get some miners out there to do ADMs, and they were like, holy shit, this is a lot harder than we thought. But to have things up to like ADM 4, that gives you 45 minutes to form a fleet, to be able to go out there to stop your Entosisers, right? To be able to stop the Entosis links, to be able to stop all that kind of stuff. There's so much time that it allows for fleets, or allows for reaction with those ADM fleets, because of that. And it's so easy to do. So again, having ADMs up for systems is real easy to do. And it's a real hard mentality, but that was a lesson that was learned in the Imperium way too late in the war, for one, because they were so focused on just PvP and just fuck it, we could just do everything all PvP. They had to literally start running ADM fleets, well, 3/4 through the war to figure out that, oh shit, this really works. You know what I mean? They figured that out way too late. So they knew it was a mechanic. They knew it was there, but they didn't realize how effective it was. Believe it or not.
I'm of a different school of thought, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't see that play out in the same way you did, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It might just
be on our side. On our side, it did. It was they were like, "Oh shit, we need to start getting fleets out there and to start running ADMs so we didn't lose more systems faster. Otherwise, that whole war would have gone a different way."
I mean, that's the thing, though, is I see it completely differently because it literally got done to the last constellation, and I don't think the realization of ADM fleets was what saved the last constellation outright. Now, granted, it was not a non-factor because that's like, if you could have whittled it down even further, it would have just been the thing. But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess I just don't see it the same way.
Yeah, it was towards the end before you guys got into Delve. That was when they started learning that we needed to, in order to save more of Delve or keep it lasted longer, they were running ADM fleets because they were like, oh shit, because everybody was in the fights and the ADMs dropped at Delve.
I mean,
slow the grind, right?
Yeah, we had to slow, to be able to slow them down from being able to take the systems faster. They had to go out there and run the ADM fleets to get that up.
There was that. What was that? The top end of Delve. What the fuck did you guys call that again? The gates of. I don't know. It was some Lord of the Rings reference where like.
Oh, I had to get my bearings there.
I have Sauron.
No.
What's that?
What do they call that? Remember in the war they called the top no, it wasn't Gundor. It was like the gates of fucking
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep. There you go.
Helm's Deep. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was all about, well, this is Helm's Deep. We're not letting it fall, blah, blah, blah. And then it was, it was fucking.
Hornburg. No, I don't think it's Hornburg.
Well, they called all the systems the floodplains.
That's where we lived. That's where we lived.
That's where we lived in. And so one of the things that Mittani was hell-bent on was not protecting the floodplains. He just wanted us to all fall back into Delve.
Yeah.
And we weren't going to protect the floodplains. He didn't want, in fact, as much as we built up into the floodplains, he was actually kind of mad about prior to the war, before the war was even a thought. He was actually kind of upset about how much had been built up in the floodplains. And then, Heinz,
because in the war before that was the issue, right? Like the Imperium was so wide,
right?
You could attack it on so many different points.
In the casino war,
start pushing things back, and then you would have to like reset your staging and reset your staging and reset your staging.
Yeah, in the casino war, but that was because power projection got changed at that time.
That was multi-factor, yeah.
And so
because also at that point,
power projection changed before that war started, and the Imperium actively started shrinking their borders. I remember this
but they were also very complacent back then. Like it was a dark time for that group,
right? But because when ADMs came into effect, they were like, well, okay, now we need industrialists. And they recruited a bunch of industrialists, but they forgot to tell those guys that like, hey, when the war comes, you're going to have to like put the barge away and pull out a fucking claw or something like that and actually, fight for the space. So what happened is the war started and all those people were like, oh, well, fuck, I'm not a PvPer. I'm just going to dock this shit up and then fucking, I'll see you at the end of the war. And then they lost the whole fucking thing. And they're like, oh, wow.
Well, so our group was over in Vale, and we had Vale and Tribute. Well, Tribute was CO2's area, so but we knew that
TNT.
We were too far. We were too far away to like be able to do anything
for our longtime allies to show up and defend us.
Right. So we're like that. So it was like, all right. Now
despite the fact that we have a vast jump bridge network.
Yeah, so it's like, what the fuck? And so we thought, well, we could always fall back to Tribute and then fall back to whatever. But the decision was made to fall back to Saarinen or whatever, And
right. I was going to say, I disagree with this entire narrative because World War B was fairly vivid for me, and it was not fall back and defend Fortress Del or Declan.
No,
at the time. It was a lot of complacency. It was we'd been on top for 3, 4, 5 years.
Right,
Long goons were
exactly.
just big dick around, and there was a lot of inactivity, and people putting pressure on them in a rapid amount of time showed all the holes in the ship.
Yep,
and they fell back to Saarinen, and they did another month or two of that, and it all played out how it did. But this was a vastly different war. But I disagree on the ADM front, because that was not seen from at least the Pappy side, in my opinion. I think it was seen very late in the war, and that was a big part of defending the last constellation, which, like you said, maybe if it's as easy as you say, maybe that was a big part. But that was, in my perspective of it, that was the last constellation that wasn't Del.
I would say that population density of that last constellation was what kept that constellation from falling.
Of course,
yeah, for sure.
Of course,
yeah.
You're right, and so you have very minimal, travel, logistics, whatever, jump bridges, all the things. You had a lot of things in your hand, and then also, in my opinion, and I would hope a lot of the people on my side of the fence would agree that it really was like the butcher's bill. At the end of the day, if you commit enough bodies to the cause, the cause will be found. And our side did not, and at any given point, and that's what it was. There was a few battles. Exactly those Chinese bastards.
Oh, I didn't make any reference to their nationality, just so you know. I was speaking specifically about the Alliance.
And you're innocent here. I'll take the full brunt of that.
Innocent. You will. Send your hate mail to
I was going to say, I'll get a few
DMs. PO Box 133.
I'll get a few DMs overnight on this.
But for me, nobody won that war. I mean, both sides took huge losses.
No, that's not true. Third-party people won that war.
Yeah, no, that's. I agree. That's not true.
I think the third-party people had a lot of fun, had a blast, and lost nothing. Right? I had no skin in the game at all. It's just killing both sides, and it was a lot of fun.
That being said, I don't agree with
won
that.
The war. Frat is the winner of that.
100% Frat did win that war. But Goons also won that war. That's and actually, I've never reflected on that. That's the most unique war outcome we've ever seen. Is that two polarized groups won a war at the same time?
Yeah.
Frat walked away from that war as a really big mucker, and they've not been doing bad for themselves over the last few years, but they're doing well. And Goons obviously won that war. I would hope most people could agree via their continued existence, but that's not the metric I was using. But
they won that cultural war.
They did a great job.
They've proven that their culture can win just by purely outlasting
whoever
besieges them. That strengthened it. So they're not going to lose another war.
But we'll see.
Not another defensive war. They're not going to lose another defensive war.
I don't know if anybody will ever
war,
fight.
Maybe.
I don't know if very many people will ever fight another defensive war again.
Well, I mean,
there's always two sides to a war.
Here's the thing: you don't get
both be on offense.
I mean, you're on the defense.
If you're truly on a defensive war, you don't get to choose to be in that war or not.
Right?
The aggressor always chooses to make the war, and you just are on the defensive war.
But so here's the sad reality:
you don't be like, "Hey, you declare war on me, and then I'll defend." Right? Like you don't get to say that.
So here's the sad reality, though.
Just keep coming at you. I decide when it stops, or you destroy me. One of the two, right?
No, that's an offensive war that you lose.
That happens, yeah.
But that's not.
I mean, how fast we rebuilt afterwards. I mean, was insane. I mean, we did the 4 hours. But we were. It was.
You're talking about this last. We were in defensive war, though. Is it different?
It wasn't though. But that's what I'm touching on.
Was to recover, recoup, or was it recover? Recover.
R&R?
Recover. Well, no, it was
4 hours. You used to recover 3 times.
I'm trying to count them out here. It's recovered. Then restructure.
And then you recovered.
Rebuild, and then there's retribution at the end. That's the fourth.
Recover, recoup, rebuild, retribution. That's the quad R.
I like the quad R.
So here's the thing. I disagree that it was miraculous or anything, because rebuilding minimal infrastructure on a better defensive scheme, which is what was preached afterwards. People were like, "Oh, we're going to rebuild. We're going to rebuild thinner. We're going to rebuild more logically. Those sort of things. That makes total sense. And you guys had the war chest to do it. I'm trying to think how to best phrase it. I'm sorry.
I was saying, like, should we do final shots, final thoughts? We're like over an hour over time.
I haven't had
do whatever you want, man. It's your show.
No,
it's your show. I've heard this multiple times tonight. LB told me so.
No, LB, it's not my show, dude. It's your show.
It is your show.
It's Drayden's show.
Drayden is a producer, an engineer.
Doesn't matter.
Scriptwriter. He does the show notes.
I know you have
all the
access
art.
to the wallet.
You're
the
accountant.
He's got the keys to the wallet. That's right. He pays for the cabanas out of his own pocket.
No, it's not my co- No,
personally.
I pay for the cabanas out of the Open wallet. I push 3 buttons to start the show.
If you were to announce your titles and responsibilities versus your
not,
freedoms, which one would be larger?
Show, dude.
Here's my thing. It's like
there's no show.
I'm not trying to be humble. I'm just saying, like, I don't do that
and
much
work. We don't
I
believe you are.
I do.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
You're not here. There's no show, man.
I don't do that much more work than anyone else on this show.
No, you are absolutely humble. So now you're lying.
LB honestly would. I would say
LB is huge.
LB does as much behind the scenes work as I ever do. So
I absolutely believe that. I actually think he does more.
Like everyone's saying it's my show. It's not my show. It's not my show.
I assume that's what draws like the stoic face.
I literally click the start
that he's
streaming,
like
start
doing work
recording
and you're
button.
just here.
That's what I do. I click the start streaming, start
and you
recording
do a good
button.
job. You do
and
it
then I
good.
click the stop streaming, stop recording button. That's what I do. And then I change a graphic that Manic makes the graphics.
Don't forget that you also tell us when we're
go to OBS and or I go to Twitch and be like, change this graphic from what Manic made last time to what Manic made this time. It's like.
Well, I try to
don't forget that you also coordinate like when we're like doing opening and like shot, and then final shots, and you list the people in final shots. That's a huge responsibility.
I click some buttons and I change some nameplates. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I am the producer. That's not disputable, but it's not that hard to produce this show. I'm just saying, like, it's not my show.
Are you saying it's not difficult to produce this show?
It's not difficult to produce this show.
So you just gather a bunch of nerds up on Discord and push start streaming on OBS? And
pretty much, yes. And I put the nameplates and the faces where they go.
And away we go.
So the people saying that I'm putting I'm not. I'm just saying, like, it's. I am one among many hosts.
Oh, I believe there's other strong people in your team.
I say, like, we have me, LB, Dom, and Manic are the official hosts of the show. It's us fours. It's us. Show.
I was not vastly familiar with LB before he came back, from deployment and whatnot. And from what I've seen since then, he is the glue.
Yeah. Military deployment. Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if I phrased that weird.
So you came in later in the show. LB has been a fixture of this show for like
the last time I watched this show, and I mentioned that to you like 8 months ago or whatever when I like waved again. I was like, remember that time we talked like 8 years ago, and you got the barbecue pit on your deck and had the antler horn
set it on
and
fire and shit. Yeah.
We just we were having a good time. Many years ago.
That was my brother's barbecue. I set it on fire.
Yeah, you were in the apartment.
Yeah, no. LB's been a fixture of the show for like 7 years.
Oh, I fully accept that. But again, where I came back into just being like, hey, Drayden, it's been a long time since I've talked to you, and then LB came back. LB is kind of doing better than like the Rain thing of like, hey, let's talk about the thing. LB actually tries to produce, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
segues. I'm pretty strong in the segue game.
You're very strong.
Yeah. He was also super strong on the soundboard, but then we moved to Discord and it just wrecked his whole shit.
Yeah, that broke a lot of shit. Yeah.
But LB, yeah, he was. So you came in when LB was on deployment, and that's the thing, like, LB was here like he was like fixture.
No, I totally believe that.
He like, had to do, because he's in the fucking army, so.
Sure. And like I said in the intro, which LB, you're much more handsome than your intro, which is funny because I know you were younger there.
He was defending our freedoms and shit overseas.
It's like last year we made that. not that young.
Yeah, no, he was defending our freedoms overseas and shit. So
I don't know. You look swole as fuck in that one, but your mustache is better.
It's like
in
a half year post due, but you know what? Shots to you, LB, for defending our freedoms overseas.
Well, stop.
I mean, I'm giving him all the credit. I believe.
Like, thanks for enduring the shitty situation in Riga that you did. So,
well, now he can let us know what Ukraine is all about.
Well, no, it was Latvia. And he didn't like
it. Close enough.
He said it was shit.
I've been to both.
Yeah, close enough.
Although, at least I would say that at least you're not deployed now, because now is much more hotspot in Ukraine than it was back when you were there.
Tell us about it, Trading, not in the military.
Fuck yeah,
bud.
Yeah, like right now, it's like, back when you were there, it's like, yeah, just like keep an eye on Putin. Nowadays, it's like, okay, Putin might actually fucking do something.
So when we were in Latvia, there was a big Russian buildup on the border of Latvia, but it's always there.
Yeah,
but
it's like,
it's there.
But now there's like a threat of Russia's like throwing ultimatums.
While we were there, Belarus was kicking off, and they were doing shit in Belarus, which is right next door. And then all those troops moved down to the border of Ukraine, and we were like, "Oh shit, what do we do if they invade Ukraine?" And they were like, "We're fucking going," and we're like, "Oh
no,
please don't." I'm just here for the tax-free, man.
Yeah, fuck, dude, I don't want to actually go to war. But yeah, no, like
Russians over Ukraine.
I'm here's the thing. I am politically unsavvy, and I know that there is some shit going on right now with Ukraine and Russia. Like,
absolutely,
it's imminent.
And we're gonna win.
It's not good. It's not
Let's
good.
be honest. LB was there, and he's
because
gonna be.
The rest of the Western world is like, yeah, don't fuck with Ukraine, and Russia's like, we're gonna fuck with Ukraine, and that's just not a good situation to be in when both sides are on that.
Yeah, Russia can't afford to invade Ukraine, because even if they do, and even if we say, okay, you can keep Ukraine, but guess what? You don't get any money from anyone ever. They'll like starve to death before the next winter is up.
You think
they don't have any fucking money? They can't afford to do it.
Like stop them?
Oh, wait, fuck yeah!
Like, is winter coming?
You can't eat natural gas.
Winter is
coming. You can't fucking do it. You can't eat natural gas.
You could.
So like you have it, but nobody's buying it from you, and no one's giving you wheat and bread and fucking pork and beef.
Fucking
because Germany did tell them.
You can't eat natural
Germany
gas,
did
man.
tell them that.
So NATO and UN would just like say "fuck you, Russia."
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and that's enough to make Russia say never mind on Ukraine, because
it's enough to make them. It's enough to make them not invade, but it's still enough to make them move troops around and be like,
what was that pseudo invasion before? Like Russia did that anyway, and the rest of the UN was like, "Oh fuck you," and Russia's like, "Fuck you," and they did it anyway. But then they pulled back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, Germany's already announced that if Russia goes into Ukraine, the whole pipeline deal is done. It's a done deal. It's not going to happen.
I honestly,
and Russia cannot afford to not have that pipeline.
I wish instead of people like threatening sanctions, I wish people would be like, now I understand this is me as a citizen that's not got any skin in the game, just talking shit, but like, I wish that the governments would be a little more strict and be like,
you could literally say,
Ukraine,
fuck you.
It's fucking war. And Russia would be like, oh shit, do we really want that? Because
it should be.
If Russia's on the board, like, oh, do we really want these sanctions? Those sanctions would be really fucking bad for us. If it's like, yeah, it's fucking war if you go to Ukraine, they'd be like, no.
Yeah, but Russia's money won't be good anywhere, and they can't buy anything. They won't be able to do nothing.
Although it might antagonize Russia, be like, oh, fuck you then. But at the same time, it's like,
well,
but when it comes to war, I feel like most nations really don't want to pull that trigger ever. And
so here's the scoop. What if we just drop enough debt to China that, we can't throw that weight around anymore?
But the thing is, it's like, I bet if you threw an ultimatum, like, if you invade Ukraine, it's fucking World War III.
Today, sure.
Russia would probably be like,
tomorrow,
maybe we don't invade Ukraine.
Well, like,
but then you have to follow up on
so
that, because if they do anyway, then you have to follow up on that threat.
So that's how Latvia works, right? There's an international deployment to Latvia with a bunch of countries in it. So in Latvia, it's Canada, Spain, Italy, Czech Republic, Macedonia, Poland is there, and Slovakia, Slovenia, and a couple other countries that I'm forgetting, and I apologize. So if Russia comes over the border, and some service member from any of those nations dies, that's a direct attack on NATO, and that's World War III.
Right.
So like even if you accidentally fuck up a little bit and send a rocket to the wrong spot and kill a fucking Spanish dude, World War III.
But is World War III
crossing the border is World War III because
that's
Latvia is a fucking NATO country.
But that's
is it a nuke war?
That's
Maybe.
the fun with Ukraine, right?
So
is that they're not.
That's my thing. Is like
Ukraine is not a NATO nation, but there are NATO service members
all over it, right?
Oh.
And that's the safety net, right? Is that you deploy them strategically in places where an accidental could happen. I imagine.
And U.S. is deploying people all over into the other NATO countries. Just in case,
as long as history happened.
My thing is
right, but I mean they're buffing them up right now. So, and our National Guard units that are over here are actually getting ready to go. Well, yeah, but our National Guard units are getting ready to go into the countries that we've been sitting in. So, like some of the National Guard units are getting ready to go to sit in countries like Germany, France, Italy, those countries. So, because those countries. The units that are there are going to Poland, Latvia, and on all that. So
like the tank unit that came to cross train with us in Latvia was a National Guard unit from Texas, I think. So that's who they're used to send to these deployments. I think the one in Poland, because they have a multinational battle group in Poland. Oh yeah,
of course they do.
You know, funny story. So
they're a liability. Your Texan units are a liability.
I want to hear the y'all story.
We're standing around talking, and it's so like in Canada, our army is very senior NCO driven. Like I can make decisions that affect things, and I can tell people what to do, and they actually fucking do it.
Well, look at
a lot of other nations, their officers are the ones that actually do the decision making. So this guy comes up, and he's a lieutenant, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody who's in charge." And I look around and I go, "I'm in charge."
Yeah.
He's like, "Really though?" I'm like, "Yeah, really though." Like, what do you want,
really, bro?
And he's like, "Well, we got these pallets of water, and we're going back to Lithuania, and we don't want to bring these pallets of water with us. So the captain told me to slash them all, dump them out, and throw them in the garbage."
What the fuck? Just use them.
But do you guys want them? I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, bud."
Oh yeah. Oh, he's we got camera distortion. What's going on here?
Akroth just dropped his camera. I muted his thing. He's probably.
Would you lose somebody?
Oh, that's fine.
So
I fixed it.
He's like, "Well, like." He dropped out. Where was I going? Oh, he's like, "Okay, well, you need to come move the pallets of water like today." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, this afternoon at 1300 we'll be over and get it all." And he's like, "Really? Like, where's your boss?" And I'm like, "I am the boss. Like, I'm in charge. And look around. I'm the fucking man."
Give me the fucking water, motherfucker.
He's like, "Okay, well, I mean, like, talk to your boss about it." I'm like, "No, I'm not talking to anybody." So at 1300, I just grabbed like a bunch of dudes. We went over and hand bombed all this water over, and he's just like looking at us like, "I don't understand. Where are the officers here?" And I'm like, "They're I don't know where they are. They're doing something else. They're doing officer shit somewhere else."
Tent.
Yeah, they're in the headquarters or something. It's just me and these fucking dudes, and we're gonna move the water. He's like, "Oh, all right, good luck." Like, man, like I'm a grown ass man.
Let me take your fucking water, you.
I go grocery shopping regularly.
You don't look like you're in charge. Like, no,
yeah,
sure. Fair assessment, but no, I am in charge.
You got the mustache, like.
It's authority.
This is the mustache of authority. That's right.
I believe that.
The curl proves authority, right?
Americans would be shook.
Oh yeah, they looked at us differently. Because like I'd be standing around in like shorts and a tank top with my fucking mustache, and they'd be like, "Are you allowed to dress like that?" Like, yeah, it's the summer. Like,
nobody's running around in like a romper.
Are you allowed to have a beard? Yeah, I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't have one, right?
Just be like, no.
Oh, okay. Are you allowed to have a mustache?
I'm literally not.
I just wake up in torture on my own prerogative.
I'm not.
I'm actively in conflict with our code, and
there's so many of us here that no one knows who I am or where I am at any point in time.
I'm a masochist. I enjoy discomfort.
Do you want to see this unfold? Like, hang around for a few more hours. I'm about to get like chewed out like a mother.
I'm about to get real belligerent.
Yeah.
This is actually just like a day or two without shaving, and it's gonna go big.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, I can't even, like, you're
Well, then you get to
watching
talking to them and you're
right
like, hey, weed's legal in Canada. I'm like, yeah, it sure is.
It sure
like,
fucking is. Like stroking your mustache, and they're like,
"Oh, you guys smoke weed?" I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, we can all the time."
Fuck yeah, bud.
Like as we speak, bud. And they're like,
"Oh, maybe not because you can't." It's a different country. Different.
They don't need to know that.
Camp, yeah, not in camp.
Yeah, it's true.
They don't need to know that. You
So
need to impress them.
Latvia is illegal, so you have to like deal with that.
Oh fuck! I should have bought like a package of plain gummy bears and told them all it was edibles.
No,
Yeah.
it's like a just
start handing them out. Like, one for you.
These are
for me.
These are government issued,
dude.
They'll kick in about 3 hours. Good luck.
Don't come back here though if they don't.
Yeah, we're gonna meet back up. But if it's not working out, I don't want to see you again.
I don't know what you talk about, man. I'm high as hell.
I've never seen that gummy bear in my life.
What else was funny that happened there? Oh, this German guy talked to another, like one of our other warrant officers, and he's like, "Hey, do you think this road will support like the weight of this trailer?" And he's like, "I don't fucking know. Like, I'm Canadian. I'm not even from this country, and I'm not an engineer. I'm an infantryman."
Is
like,
it a road?
What the fuck?
So he's just like, "Yep, sure, it will, totally, 100%."
Is it a road? Like,
"Oh,
sure, it's
good."
a truck. Yeah.
So
send
like,
it. Send it, bitch.
All gas, no brakes.
Did you say send it? Just gonna send
I
it.
hope.
That's fucking send her, bud.
Send her, bud. Yeah. You silly, just gonna send it anyway.
We did a lot of sending her.
What happened to that guy?
He's actually. I was gonna say he's a 4-star general.
I saw a video of him, like 4 or 5 years after his whole shindig on YouTube, and he was like cooking a steak on a wood stove, and it looked delicious. And I wanted to eat it, and then that's the last I saw of him. Did you see that, LB?
I think this is the one I'm looking at right here. Cooking with Larry Enticer steak sandwich.
Cooking a steak on the wood stove. That's like 5 years from now. So he either went
like in the future.
He either like just took his success and went out in the woods, or he disappeared from his success, or he didn't make it after the last snowmobile jump.
Yeah, I don't know where this guy is now. Everything I'm seeing is like 4 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, no,
3 years ago.
That's the steak cooking, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the future.
Yeah.
I was like, does anybody know what a future steak tastes like?
I'm gonna do a shot to Larry
To who?
Enticer.
Who is that?
You don't know Larry Enticer. You don't know him. Honestly, you don't.
I'm gonna post you a video. Hold on.
What are you saying?
Yeah, okay. Elby's gonna post a video. I'm gonna play a video.
Still
I'm gonna play a video of Larry. Like, dude, he's just gonna send it.
It's in chat.
Is that the full like thing, LB?
It's just gonna send it the best of.
Okay, I'm gonna play that in the thing. Copy link.
Dude, I love that Canadian tuxedo.
All
This
dead.
dude's a moron. I love this guy.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna play this thing on like because everyone that hasn't watched Larry Enticer, he's just gonna send it. You're like a child. You're like a child in history school that doesn't know about the Roman Empire.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're gonna play this. I'm gonna play this.
I'm watching it now. What the fuck?
Here we go.
Keeping up a new jump here. Just gonna send it.
Fucking love this guy.
He's a moron.
Wait, hold on.
Don't say that about him.
I love him too, but man, he's a moron. I love this guy.
I have to change the ratio because he's not fitting on the screen.
Yeah, we're looking at his legs, but I believe they sent it.
Go pretty fast. Hit that water, just gonna hold her wide. Gonna be a good day.
Hold on.
This guy respects business in the front, party in the back.
Oh. Why does that not show up more?
I thought I was dead.
You know what? Fuck it. He shows up enough. It's Larry. Oof.
I don't know, I just woke up from a little nap. It's a little dark, but you guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
Why is it so...
Well, that hurt, but the ET still runs, so round 2. She's tweaked.
Oh, there we go. Now it's full speed.
Just gonna send it.
Just gonna send it, bud.
Snow's too soft. Another day, another beer.
Look, this shots for Bush.
You guys have any food? Never mind. I think I got a slice in the old ET. There she is. Not like a slice of meat lovers after a good night. Had a couple bushes.
Like Manifold?
Tuned up
Pizza?
the old ET.
Got a slice of the old ET.
We're running good for the next stunt. Keep her tuned.
Keep her tuned, babe.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Gonna be a good day. Just gonna send it.
Use the zinger too.
Giving this bike back. Y'all thought wrong. I'm just gonna keep on sending it. Let's crack this baby open.
That's how you crack a beer.
Just gonna send it.
Just gonna send
If you
it.
want glass in your throat.
Hell yeah.
Well, nothing better than waking up with a half-decent chip beside you in the morning than waking up with a
Half-decent
fresh
chip.
cold beer and fresh layer of snow on the ET. Gonna be a good day.
You got pretty skinny by the end there.
Yeah, I did.
I don't have any beer.
Meth will do that.
I was just gonna say meth. Goddamn.
That's just a number. I'm going way past 16. I'll tell you that for free.
Oh,
He
fuck,
biffs
he
it
done.
ear hard.
Oof. That's the first shot, though.
God, that had to hurt.
Yeah. Oh, he landed it.
Piece of shit, you hear me? Oh, she'll fire up. Just need some gas down the cylinders.
The pipe wrench.
She always goes
Torque
after
wrench,
that
yeah.
e-bike.
Torque wrench. Those fuckers are torqued.
Just gotta dump a little gas down the
It's a pipe
old
wrench.
cylinders, you know.
Same thing.
Little 4-stroke here.
He's clearly fucking around.
Hell yeah. This guy don't know shit. I don't either.
Those are fucking torque.
Those are fucking torque. That's what.
Wait till you hear I fucking can.
This guy's a fucking.
I do not.
I love the old Super Twin.
Oh, this guy's Canadian? This makes way more sense. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's from Ontario.
Is it though? This guy could have.
I thought he was from Minnesota.
Million and a half people from.
Could have been Wisconsin.
It was U.S. Absolutely.
I was gonna say I know plenty of Minnesotans.
Yeah.
And your family.
Yeah. Relatives in Chicago area that do some stupid shit on snowmobiles in the winter.
I mean, I've done a lot of what this guy's done.
Well, and true. And that's what's relatable. That's what makes this so fun. Ideally, there's that.
No.
It's like
I've never had Harry.
Sorry.
All right, there we go.
My-
Yeah, so,
I was just gonna say, in my assessment, snow is something that you should visit, like vacation to, not something you should be subjected through.
Oh, I love the snow.
We'll check you out.
wait, 3. Oh, I have 3? What's 4? Nah. Meh.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, just gonna say, that is Larry Enticer. I don't know where he went.
Enticer right there. Wedge linked. That's Larry Enticer.
I don't know where he went, but that guy was a fucking legend. That's the old school YouTube. That's the shit you went on YouTube for, not this bullshit like, reality
curated
shows,
nonsense.
the reality show reactions, or like the people reacting to videos. Like
It's just a prank, bro.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna react to this video that's like viral on the internet. It's like you've seen it. We all know you've seen it, and you're doing a reaction video to it, and you're pretending you haven't seen it, but you've seen it.
I have a confession.
You've seen Larry Enticer?
No.
I'm showing you Larry
And
Enticer.
you still like him?
Tosh, this is awesome.
There are there's a series of videos where people react to Luke Skywalker showing up on The Mandalorian.
Oh.
I love those videos. There's a lot of emotional people there.
Wait.
That
Skywalker
Just like
shows up on the Mandalorian?
Just blowing up over Mark
Oh,
Hamill.
spoiler alert.
Oh my god!
I have not seen this.
Shit! Wait,
I mean, it's my own fault, so I wouldn't hold it against you.
I thought the spoiler was like Ahsoka Tano.
Well, she's there too.
What the fuck?
Not in the same. Not in the same episode.
Is that a real spoiler?
Yeah.
What you're saying right now?
Shit.
I mean,
Gibson kicks
yes,
ass.
that was like a fucking year ago. It was a year ago.
No,
You
no.
haven't seen
was like
There's a
3 years
statute of
ago.
limitations on spoilers.
It was,
It was a year ago.
It was like 3.
Like
I already knew it. LB, I already knew it.
I wouldn't actively hold it against you.
I just wanted
exactly.
to make you feel bad for like a second, but I already
yeah,
knew
I felt
it.
bad like a quarter second.
But here's the thing, though. If you're talking about people
Goal
who are
missed.
not main
Goal
characters
was
historically and saying, like, that's, some sort of spoiler, like, no. Nobody gives a shit or is paying attention to that.
Like my thing is like,
Mark
if I've
showing up in
waited this
something
long
way after
and I'm
the fact
still
is
worried
pretty
about spoilers, what
funny
the
to
fuck
know.
am I doing on the internet? So that's
Well, you're being evasive as
Here's the
fuck,
thing.
which
Well,
is quite
I
the
still
ninja
don't know
move.
how the Titanic ends.
Exactly.
no one say anything. Stop! No one say anything.
About how the Titanic ends?
Stop!
I've never seen it.
Dom,
Never
don't say a word.
Shut up.
They're all gonna get out, and that's how we had like the
Don't
the
even.
Heart of the
No,
Ocean or
stop!
whatever,
Don't
that
give
blew.
spoilers that they get out.
Fucking
Well-
Elby's fucking with me. I know he is.
It's like a really good maritime safety.
No, he hasn't seen it. Stop.
movie, right?
Like,
It absolutely is.
LB,
like everybody, all hands on deck, and pay attention.
They get out, but some don't. But don't.
There's enough
Oh,
lifeboats
what the hell are you doing, Drayden?
Boats for everyone. It's
How could you even describe the fact that some didn't get out?
Here's
they
the thing.
all got out.
He knows some don't get out.
Yeah,
You don't have
eventually.
to watch the movie to know some don't get out. But I'm giving him the thing of
That's
like
not my responsibility.
he doesn't
to tell
know
you that,
who
that.
gets out and who doesn't. That's
He absolutely does. It was a standing
that
order.
is now the fact that
For
they don't all
100
survive.
years now.
The fact they don't all survive is like known, but now he doesn't know who to put on money on who. Because I guarantee
God damn it.
LB is like, let's open up a bid war with his wife. So like they like bid. You know,
he did a whole
money.
charcoal drawing of her.
Yeah.
Like, how could
So
they not
does
both survive?
DiCaprio live or die?
Yeah, so they do like a whole bit.
What are we
bidding
dancing a
war?
jig on the 8th
There's
level?
something about enough room on that piece of wood. Like, do you think there was enough room?
No, but who though? Here's the thing. But who?
No, you already fucked it
up.
It's and you can't bet on the two main characters because main characters.
They both won an Oscar.
I want to see the movie that Seema saw. That sounds like a fucking great one.
What is a Seemasaw?
Is that what?
A Seemasaw? Is that a movie?
I don't think so.
Why did you say it then?
Hey, look, it's Rain.
Hello?
Hello, Rain.
Hi, Rain.
Seema. And they saw a movie that
Rain,
sounds awesome.
You came at the
No,
most
Hunt
opportune
for Red
time.
October. Hunt for Red October is a submarine movie.
What are you talking
It's a
about?
And it's
submarine
100%
movie?
factual.
I'm not wrong.
What are you talking about?
It's
You said the submarine movie, and I said no. That's the Hunt for Red
Oh,
October.
I thought you said a summary movie, like a summary of a story.
Summary. I mean, there is a
Oh, a
summary. There's like a
summary.
whole
There is a
book
summary
about
there.
it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You can summarize anything, really. I mean,
It's right.
Don't read the book though. It has spoilers.
what does?
Fuck.
I mean, if you're
What book?
But
if
what
you're
if I-
summarizing,
October.
What if I watch the movie?
seen
Is
the
it
movie?
spoilers for the book?
Yeah, of course.
You're being ridiculous.
Oh my
Stop
god,
it.
I can't do anything right. Spoilers are all abound.
I mean, Sean
Watch it
Connery
everywhere.
didn't mean to do that to you.
It's like having red light in here, fucking spoiling everything.
It's true.
It's fine though, because it's fine.
I might be in
What you guys
Pelham
had to
tomorrow
drink?
night, Rain.
Wait,
No-
what are you doing?
Nothing, right? We
Well,
we
she's
drink
gonna-
like two
she's gonna,
drinks. It's just two
She's
drinks.
got what do you
tonight.
call a person that escorts you down to your seat?
What?
What's that called?
A bouncer?
Oh yeah.
You're sending
For,
a
wait,
bouncer?
for like a funeral or
You're
a
sending
church
a
or
bouncer
a
or
play?
like a
Like
an
a
ass?
pallbearer or like a
Excuse me, miss.
I
You're
don't
too,
know.
You're too
Not
vocal.
a bouncer. What the fuck?
Excuse me, miss. You're too vocal. You have to
Wait,
sit
what are you
down.
doing it for?
You like escort somebody to their seat from the door. You're the what do you?
Yeah, that's
But
a
for
bouncer.
church or for like theater?
Church. From church. What do they call that
it's-
person?
It's like a
Jesus,
The
usher.
pastor.
The usher.
No, it's Usher. Yeah, maybe.
ushers.
No,
Yeah.
that's the guy that sings that "Yeah" song.
No,
Yeah,
no.
That's not the
My
usher.
doing. She's
You are
usher.
not Usher. You don't look anything
Lil
like
Jon?
him.
for the F play.
Can
Lil
we
Jon?
get an usher in chat?
Usher, exactly.
And I said, "Yeah."
I said yeah.
Kick your ass.
Yeah.
Shorty got time.
Usher
to say,
says
"Come
yeah,
get me."
yeah.
And she's gonna be
Yeah.
usher there, so
Gotta
yeah,
sit-
fuck off.
On the something.
correct.
Yeah.
Oh, kiss my
yeah.
Hold on. Somebody wants to talk about EVE Online in the chat.
No, they
Nike.
don't.
What?
Nike
Lots of
Rim.
actors doesn't.
What's
Hey,
that
what could
fucking
go wrong,
word?
guys?
What does that
Hey,
mean?
Dom, text me when you're
Can
in
we
town.
get
I'm
a
gonna
true
go hang
story
out.
for what happened in UD Tech? Hey,
We'll
What-
do.
What do you
what
mean?
could go
Each
wrong,
day-
guys? What happened in
Speakeasy
UD
yet?
Tech?
But
Yeah,
don't-
I've been there. It's super
Um,
fun. Let's go.
Which?
All right, let's
what?
do it tomorrow night.
When?
Alright.
What?
I'm gonna be in
What
town
time are
tomorrow
you in
too.
town?
Hold up.
What time
No,
the play
Salt Lake-
starts? So,
Salt
yeah.
Lake City. Sorry.
I don't know. Should I make
We
a
may never
reservation
know.
for like 6
You
o'clock? or
guys
7
should come to
o'clock?
Salt Lake City and
Reservation?
party with me and Manic.
No, let's just go to the bar when I get there. I don't know where
No,
to be.
you guys come. To
I'm
Salt
not
Lake City.
Alright,
reliable.
we can go to the bar. We can go to the bar.
For reservations. I'm not
Come to
reliable
Salt
for
Lake
that.
City and party with me and Manic.
Hey, when you
Next
guys
weekend?
go to Salt Lake City?
We can drive out there.
This,
When? When?
Nike. What do you mean by
not this
UD
Wednesday,
Tech?
next Wednesday.
Oh,
Yeah,
in
we should
reference
just
to what?
Weird. Just tell them to tell us.
Big
we should
system.
drive out there. It's only like 16 hours,
A
right?
week and a quarter. How far?
16-hour
is it
drive. 16-hour drive. Easy.
Is
Easy.
it that far? You guys are
Easy
so far
peasy.
away. What the fuck?
That's
How far are
actually
you
not that
from-
bad.
How far are you from?
That's like a day driving. Like that's
It's
not
a
bad.
10-hour drive from my place. I thought it was close. I thought
10
you
hours
guys
is
were close
rough.
to me.
It's 16 because it's 20 to
I
Vegas,
thought,
right?
I thought. No,
Hour
not
difference?
Vegas. No.
The U.S. is huge.
Salt
and
Lake
fuck
City,
you from
Salt Lake
any other
City.
country if you don't think
I know it's 20 hours to Vegas from where we live.
Salt Lake City.
I know Salt Lake City's closer. That's why I said 16.
Yeah, I thought you guys were like 8 hours from
I will spank.
Salt Lake.
Oh,
for
look,
some
the battle
reason.
report.
I thought it was closer than for you guys.
Let's
I was like,
observe this
let's
battle
all
report.
just like do like a fun
Very
meetup.
close
But
all the time.
okay, okay, it's that far. I can't because I'm visiting relatives.
I'm actually checking because I don't know. How far
I'm
it is.
visiting relatives in the area, and then I'm gonna
Drayden,
go.
wait, are you drunk?
What? No.
Maybe
You're
yes.
slurring your
You're-
words real hard there.
I
What?
am.
That's awfully accusatory.
No, I actually am drunk.
Who would
'cause-
do that? Go out and get drunk on a Friday
Oh my
night.
God, who
Admit
does that? Who
nothing.
does that shit? Like, just like
In my Christian neighborhood?
That's ridiculous when you're talking about
No,
Pella,
I'm just saying like, because I'm gonna be in Manic's neighborhood next week.
Dude,
Oh, no.
I can't prepare. I have work next week.
15
No.
hours. 15
Not-
hours, 55 minutes
Not
for me to
next
drive
week.
there.
The week after, midweek after. I'm gonna go to his.
That's
place.
Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas week, because
Christmas Day?
it's the 22nd because it's the Matrix release party. And it's Manic, so it's the Matrix. It's the Matrix video release date, opening day. He already bought me and him tickets to go see it. And I'm going down there. I'm driving.
So is Wyoming and Colorado just getting hammered right now with snow?
I don't care. I'm driving through the snow. I don't give a
It
fuck.
says I-80 is closed.
I don't
Like,
give a
no
fuck about the
going
snow. If they close the freeway, I'll
to just
drive.
north of Denver. Holy
I'll drive
shit.
through the barrier. Like, are they gonna stop me? Like fucking, like
Snow
like
really bad today.
They actually will stop you.
It was
that's the
snow
thing.
here, but you know what? You've seen the movies, like
Day after tomorrow.
no, not
Yes,
that.
I've seen the movie. That's a good movie.
I'll
They
drive.
literally close the roads.
I'll
I mean, you
drive through
literally
those
can't
barriers.
go.
Hi, Shad Squatch.
You mean the barriers of like what's that one with like Cloverfield paradox,
That's
Sounds like
insane.
or
That sounds like a blurry
the New York the Cloverfield, like where like the monsters attacking the city. I'll drive through that shit. I don't give a fuck about a monster.
Fuck yeah.
I don't give a fuck about snow. I don't give a fuck about ice. I just got my car tuned for ice, snow tires, ice, everything. I'm all good to go. And that's one thing. I've been driving ice. I've driven in snow environments for like 25 years. I'm comfortable
It smells good too, doesn't it?
driving through passes with snow. I'm going to go and watch, I'm going to go hang out with my aunt and uncle in Ogden for Christmas.
Tonight?
And no, Christmas weekend, before Christmas weekend.
God damn, it's late.
okay.
But also after that, I'm gonna go hang out with me and Manic, and we're gonna hang out. Me, his
Watch The
wife,
Matrix.
and maybe it's that, I don't know. And we're gonna hang out and like have a fun Christmas night and have some dinner. I might see if I can cook them some dinner for a thing. I don't know.
I think you should, man.
It's a
Fuck
great way to
fuck
make
yeah.
up for the couch that they provided you.
Yeah, it's like
It's a fold out.
give me
What
a
else?
couch.
Like, have
It's
some
like
respect.
to fly
Give
from
me a
Denver to
couch.
Salt
Let me
Lake.
make you dinner. Yeah, that's
That'd
my
be
Exactly.
That's a trade off. We'll see.
Is it?
That's
Are you sleeping on a pull-out couch?
I don't know.
the barter system is beautiful.
I'm staying with my aunt and uncle through the week, but then like Wednesday night, because
If you are, I want
Wednesday
you to.
afternoon is when he's off work, and that's when we and him are supposed to go see the movie. And then after that, maybe have dinner, and then I don't know after that. So
If you're gonna stay on a pull-out couch, you have to say.
my thing is like
I
I
hope-
kind
I
of
hope
want
your
to.
couch pulls out because I don't.
I'm I'm
Fuck yeah.
I'm down for a couch because I'm like I don't. Do I need
Hopefully
to get
on
a,
stream, please.
my thing is like
I want to clip it.
do I have a couch to sleep on there, or do I get a hotel and sleep in a hotel room?
They will absolutely provide you with a place to stay. Come on.
Who will?
I bet he will. But I'm just saying, I haven't talked to him.
I bet he wouldn't for me.
I haven't talked to him on...
He would absolutely provide you a place as well.
It would be a mistake.
I will sleep
on that's
I will
up to
sleep
him
on
to find out.
floor with a pizza box as a pillow. I've done that before. But...
Well, and that's just more economical for him and less laundry.
Mikey, we're going to get to your battle report in a minute.
But anyway.
The battle report that Nike linked. If you look at that, and if you don't have to, but whatever. It's Elon.
Who's Nike?
Nike RM, whatever his fucking name is there in chat.
Shit.
Link the battle report.
Ooh,
we wanted to know what happened in UDTAC. And if this is the same fleet that I think was pinged about 2 hours ago, I didn't actually go on it. They started toasting shit in that system, so we sent all the things we could undock in and just whelp shit into them until
one at a time, like sand trippers to hide your numbers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
what happened.
That's the basic strategy.
So the toasting didn't work, and whatever else they were trying to do in system didn't work. We might have lost a bunch of ships and a bunch of ISK, but
rip.
The SOV is safe and the structures are safe.
But you won the objective.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Objective one.
Don't hold the SOV.
There you go. Then you won the fucking war or the battle.
Battle.
The objective is the battle.
Tonight's war. So fuck you.
Yeah, I didn't say war. I said battle.
And the BRM in that system should go way up.
I'm saying war because I'm saying tonight's war you lost, and fuck you for that. You know, tomorrow's war is it's a whole nother war.
Maybe
but,
you lost
yesterday's
yesterday's war,
tonight.
but not today's war.
Well, this isn't good. Now I'm sitting looking at local in my home system, and there's 2 guys from Noir mercenary group in there.
That's never a good sign. Yeah.
Oh no.
Imagine a time when Noir decided to take war contracts against smaller groups. Like that's.
I mean, they'll take contracts from anyone.
I guess they might. It's been a long time.
Alex, what Puke and Hughes just talking about this. He still does his podcast. It's the longest running podcast in all of
Declarations of War. I listen to it regularly.
I like to give him a rough time.
He was on another podcast talking about. I think it was on Lost and Eve. No, was it Lost and Eve?
Long time ago, you mean?
No, it was just recently.
Lost and Eve. The revamping of it.
Eve.
Yeah, the restart of it.
One.
Yeah. Oh, it's Lost and Eve. It's Rendell. It's the restart of it. You're right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think he was on that one talking about Noir, and he was specifically talking about their AT run, and then they talked about Noir doing mercenary stuff. And basically, he was saying they'll take contracts from anybody.
I like to throw a little bit of shade with Noir.
Yes.
I flew with Noir for like 19 days or something. I'm gonna say back in like 2009.
They saw your kill board and kicked you out.
No. I apparently offended some people with like crass language.
No, that's not possible.
I used apparently back in let's say roughly 2010, whatever 2010-ish.
Oh, okay.
I used a little bit of foul language or something during like the one campaign that I was there for. I was in Noir for a very short point. Like I said, I think it was like roughly 19 days. And after the contract or whatever, they were like, I just don't think it's working out. And I was like, oh shit, what's up? And they're like, you have a foul mouth kind of thing. And it wasn't quite so cut and dry, but like that was what was conveyed to me. And I was like, oh, well, shit, I'm not like a great shit talker or anything, but apparently I was just a little bit foul for their taste at the time.
Maybe they just wanted an excuse not to.
It very well could be. I will give them all the outs. I have plenty of character flaws, but that was what was given to me at the time. Was they were like, you were kind of offending people, and I was like, wait, what do you mean? And they were like, you kind of have a foul mouth. It was what basically was like followed up by that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Real quick, I have a question. I do want to play the new episode of The Expanse tonight. Are we okay?
If you've not played in the former, like starting from the beginning, I will actively dip out, but that's not against anybody else.
This is in expectancy of like people that have watched the show before.
Sure.
We're not playing the entirety of the preseasons. This is new shit. But I want to watch it. I want to post it if people want to watch it. But so, is that okay?
Yeah, dude, let's go. Wait, only if you do a previously on The Expanse. sort of session.
I'm sure they will have a slightly that in.
Don't expect them to do it. You need to do it.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll
I've
probably
never
dip
done
then
it.
too. I'll probably dip then because I haven't seen any of the Expanse yet.
So
Okay.
based upon your and Dre or God damn it, Dirk's conversation earlier, I'm convinced that now it's like the best sci-fi show that has ever been. Now I have to go back and watch.
In my opinion, it really is. It really
I will totally.
I have to go back and watch.
If we do a marathon where we watch from the beginning, I'm down.
That's where I'm thinking, and I'm not suggesting tonight, but I'm like,
Okay,
well, I have no background.
So
on this,
tonight we're gonna start from season 6 because it's new. But I'm down to in other nights like do catch up shit if we want to do that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I can understand
nights.
that. Do for the actual like keeping up to things fans
Yeah,
for the
just
moment,
like catch up. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah,
down
if you
for
guys
that.
hit it again, I would love to introduce myself to it. I've heard really good things multiple times.
It's
but
so good. Although here's the thing, this is season 6, so the fact that it just came out, you can't really expect us all to like wait until we get cut.
I wouldn't have expected that of any.
Right. So here's the thing, we'll do season 6, episode 1 tonight because here's the thing, they're not doing a bulk release. They're doing 1 episode a week, and that's it. So tonight is episode 1, and that's it. Season 6, episode 1.
How long are the episodes roughly?
Now, 40 minutes to an hour.
30 to 45 minutes, roughly, depending on.
How long are the seasons, roughly? Episode.
10 episodes,
Okay.
roughly. So.
It's not the worst catch up.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Tonight, we're gonna play episode 1. New season, play it raw.
6-1.
6-1. Tomorrow, I got nothing going on. We'll have a nephew birthday party, but that's like afternoon. So tomorrow night, I have nothing going on. If Akaroth, if you want to join me in a recap of like earlier seasons, we'll play like the first 3 episodes of
Recap of what seasons? What?
Expanse.
Oh fuck yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, so
I've just restarted watching Game of Thrones because I'm trying to recap
so
through some things. So
season, what if we do like, because they're only releasing 1 episode per week.
All right, no, let's wait till it's all done
The
and binge it.
Expanse, what if I just like
that's how I feel.
broadcast the new episode on Fridays because that's when they release it and I want to watch it, and then what if before that we just do like 3 to 5 episodes of the show beforehand to let people catch up that want to catch up? I don't know. We'll do that. But
So wait, are you suggesting that like on Fridays and or Saturdays you're doing like vast catch up periods?
Fridays we're doing current catch up for people that haven't.
Okay.
It's like literally
Like
the
Saturdays doing
one
actual
episode that is new. And Saturdays we're doing catch up of like people that haven't watched the Expanse yet. Is my thought. So
I mean, it could be interesting. I'm not trying to like push y'all or force you towards doing
we'll
catch
see
up
how it goes.
days, but
we'll see how it goes. But
What are you forcing me to do?
stuff.
But regardless of,
I don't think you need to force me to do anything.
I have a plan. But tonight,
that was the hope.
Tonight we're gonna go with the new Expanse season episode 1 because if you haven't watched the Expanse, I would recommend maybe not watch it if you don't want spoilers, or if you do watch it, you're gonna be lost because it's 6 seasons in, right? You can watch it, but I'm just saying like, let's just go with Expanse season 1. This is the 1 episode they have released tonight for the series. I've been waiting for this for so long.
But watch it tonight.
Fun. Let's watch it.
People who are up to date should watch it tonight. It sounds
Well, we can watch other stuff first, though.
Here's
well,
the thing.
No, we can't because it's about
Okay.
People on the stream, I will close it because Amazon and Jeff Bezos don't like me stream this shit live. So if you want to watch this shit,
we love you all, and you should just tune in.
Just go right below the streaming box, and you'll find the Discord link to our channel. Go to the Discord channel and then join the voice channel of movie night, and I will be there eventually, and then we'll go from there. So.
And tonight they're actually watching Raising Arizona, so there's no copyright conflicts or anything.
So it doesn't matter. It's
tune in.
It's off air.
You'll be fine.
Just go to that channel. Anyway,
I'm not watching Raising Arizona. What the fuck are you talking about?
You would actively watch Raising Arizona tonight. Do not lie to me right now.
Right. Probably would if I
We're closing it. Bye, Knights. Bye, everybody.
I miss everybody.
Later, bitches.
Later, bitches. There we go.
Thank you, Brain.